Start my recording now.
Yeah, 5 years
Og-
in a row.
Oggy, oggy, oggy.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oi, oi.
All right, well, I suppose we might as well just go for it then.
Might as well.
We may as well.
How
Okay,
long
good
you
evening,
viewers?
ladies and gentlemen. We are. This is our second podcast. This week we'll be chatting to the usual suspects, Mighty and Zombie. We will be I don't know, going over a few things. We've also opened it up to this weird little zombie thing that he's going to show up on the screen there. It's actually worse because the camera kind of fluctuates in and out and makes it even scarier. Hello there, Zeus. How are you? Nice to have you here, mate. So the first topic of the evening, Almighty's going to introduce. I think we're going to talk about possibly. Yeah, go for it, Mighty. You go for it, mate. You got it.
So, I was having a poop and I came up with a couple of ideas. I was watching Z Nation and I thought, why don't me, Zombie, and Ball talk about what would we do in that scenario? But then I thought we can expand on it and then do other scenarios.
Who would be first?
Because Ball mentioned The Matrix, so we could have done
Yes.
something like The Matrix. I haven't seen the
Yeah.
trailer yet, but I can do that now.
Have a look at the trailer. I'm a diehard Matrix fan. I loved it when it first came out, and I've watched all the other. I even like the sequels and the prequels and all that kind of stuff, and also like the comic books. But the new one, the new what's it called? Trailer, Matrix trailer is all over the place. Well, what I got from it, it took all the cool things from all the other movies and kind of slapped them all in together. From the trailer, this is. I'm kind of seeing all the bending of time, all the crazy patterns on the walls, and it's even got down to the tablets. Now, another thing that looks like it sucks. Sorry if I'm going too quick. It's kind of in my head. It doesn't look like Lawrence Fishburne is in it, if I say his name right. I can never remember. But he's the cool guy. He's Morpheus, and they've got, instead of doing a new character in the Morpheus idea, it looks like he is it. He isn't. He isn't. Okay, cool. I'm right there because I didn't see him in the trailer. It looks like they've just got another guy to play him, played exactly the same character. Now, personally, I don't think they should have done that. I think they should have gone, okay, we need another kind of like well, I don't know. Morpheus was kind of like an in-between guy. He kind of helped on both sides, not both sides, but he was kind of like,
he was the human one who actually explained everything to.
yeah,
He was the one looking for Neo in the first place.
yeah.
Like, he was the one that the Oracle told him who was going to do that. What I'm getting about the fourth one is that they're supposed to be explaining more about the Oracle, like how the Oracle may be evil, and the idea of the whole thing in general. Because remember, they did end up having to switch out who the Oracle was in the first after the first movie because the original one died.
Yeah.
So they had to do that, get a new person to play her. But from what because I only heard about the one when they were talking about maybe doing one. So people were talking about like, oh, is this going to be the storyline or is this going to be where they're going with it? And I haven't seen any actual trailer yet. But they're talking about how.
Well, so far from the trailer, all I've got is Barney Stinson's in it, and there's a lot of drugs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's lots. I saw lots of tablets and stuff in it. Zeus is saying he thinks the guy is Morpheus, though, but it's when he first got out of the Matrix. Okay, that would make a lot more sense because I had this. Yeah, kind of like a flashback, but Neo is like older, so I think it's like based on a different timeline as far as I can understand. But even if that is the truth, Zeus, I mean that does sound a hell of a lot better. It does seem they've taken a lot of the cool stuff from the other movies and kind of slapped it all in together. Unless they've just put that all in the trailer, I'm not too sure. We're gonna wait and see. It's December, and it comes out. Well, here it is. Anyway, I don't. Might be earlier in the US.
What? I'm not that loud.
It doesn't look too bad so far because it's going to be more of an action film by the looks of it.
Yeah, it does definitely look. But if you know, well, from my perspective, when I was looking at the trailer, a lot of the scenes looked similar to the original, like the White Rabbit and the idea of going through the glass. They put a lot of that into the trailer. Now, whether that's just all the bits that we've seen before, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more flesh to it. But I just what I was mainly put down was by the idea that Lawrence Fishburne wasn't in it because I like him. He's cool. He's been in some brilliant movies. Event Horizon was an amazing movie, and he was like the pinnacle part of that movie.
I do. Is it Bourne or
Yeah.
Byrne? Because I've always called him Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah,
I don't
Lawrence
know.
Fishburne is what I always call.
Thomas Fishburne. I don't know. Maybe I'm terrible with names, mate. I've probably just forgotten him. But yeah, he's cool. He's been in some really good movies. I liked his early days when he used to play the gangster. What was that movie when he played alongside
Boys in the Hood.
that's- No, he played in a gangster movie where he was an undercover copper.
Really?
Yeah, let me hold on. I can Google things now because I've got it up in front of me.
Yes.
Was that the other one
Yeah,
with Keanu
check
Reeves?
me out.
Was that the other one with Keanu Reeves?
No,
Where,
it
Keanu Reeves was a
had-
bank robber. Point blank.
it had the guy who was in Jurassic Park, and he goes, "It's a real big piece of shit." I can't remember his name either.
Jeff.
That's a real
What do you
Jeff
call him?
Goldberg.
Yeah.
Jeff
Goldblum.
Goldberg. But it's a really old movie. Hold on.
Yeah, you're talking about Jeff Goldblum from Life Will Find a Way.
Jeff
Yeah, I mean-
Goldblum. He's all right as an actor, but he's not the best.
He is a
I
character
like
in and of
Sex
himself.
Machine. Sex Machine was a great movie.
See, Jeff Goldblum is one of those actors who can't really play anybody other than Jeff Goldblum. Like, you know who he is from everything he's in, but he's still, I don't know, that's a good character in and of itself, I guess.
Right. While we're on this subject, what do you think of Adam Sandler movies?
It started off good and then went downhill. Adam Sandler, I mean, like Waterboy, Zombie and Nick, you two are very quiet. That's probably my fault, mate. I need to turn the desktop up.
Yeah, my mom was just texting me saying that, way too quiet now.
Okay, I haven't turned the desktop audio on. There we go. Right, so it's going to be
So-
super loud now. Okay,
Okay,
sorry about
we
that,
just-
guys. Okay, what was that movie?
Oh, are you talking about just Adam Sandler movies? Which ones he wrote, or what about the ones he produced, like Grandma's Boy and stuff like that?
Ooh.
Because the whole Happy Madison production.
Let's go with the ones he's in, then we'll talk about the ones that he produced after.
Yeah, they were good at the beginning. Like, what was it? Billy Madison. Jesus Christ.
I can't find it. I'm sorry, I'm still searching for this movie, so bear with me. I gotta remember what it's called. It's such a
You
cool
can just
movie.
go to IMDb and look up the actor and see which one.
Yeah, I am. I'm looking through, but I can't recognize any of these names.
Yeah, Little Nicky was a great film, Zeus.
I absolutely like.
Little Nicky, Waterboy, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore.
Deep Cover. Fantastic movie. Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence
Let me just
Fishburne.
Let me just see if I'm saying his name right. Fishburne. Yeah, that looks good. Looks like I'm saying it right. I snore like a demon. Who snores like a demon? My missus days. I sound like Nick when he is asleep in the park. Dear me. But yeah, Adam Sandler movies. Yeah, Little Nicky. I think he went downhill from there. To be honest with you.
He's
The
done
one.
some okay ones. Like I liked. Well, I didn't mind his newest one, the Halloween one. It was
I've not seen
decent.
Which one was
it.
that?
Right.
I don't remember. A lot of his movies are coming out now, and I didn't even know he was making them. Like, I'm finding them on Netflix and shit after the fact.
He made a cool one when he was he fixed shoes, and he had to make this pair of shoes.
cobbler.
The
Yeah,
cobbler. I
the
like
cobbler.
that. I think that got the Little Nicky is Little
Favorite thing
Nicky
is Little Nicky
is
is
the
the dog
dog sleep. Okay. We watched it. His voice was irritating. I honestly can't remember that movie. I don't think I've watched it that much.
Yeah, and he talks like this the whole time.
Did he?
Yeah, he talks like he got hit in the face with a shovel when he was a kid. But he did.
What was the movie where he was the American football player?
Waterboy.
Was it Waterboy?
No.
Of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was the
Longest
water boy,
Yard.
and he tackled like very good. So they're like, okay, put the water boy in the game, and then he.
Longest
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 Yard.
Yard as well. But that was when he was in the prison, wasn't it? And he had to go back in and
Oh,
train.
Yeah.
I forgot
Did
about
you
that one.
know that movie was based off an English movie called Mean Machine with Vinnie Jones in it?
Yeah, I knew it was based off that. Yeah.
Which one? There's two The Longest Yards. There was the original one, which was with Burt Reynolds and all them still in it, because he played a cameo in the second version with Adam Sandler. But there was the original The Longest Yard, or whatever it was called, back in like the 70s or 80s,
Yeah,
I think.
because
That might
what
have
it
been.
was is the Mean Machine, the English version, was a remake or a British remake of The Longest Yard that Zombie was on about there with Burt Reynolds and that in it.
Was it?
Yeah.
I know, because the Mean Machine, I remember watching that years and years ago. But that had Vinnie Jones in it, didn't it? All he got famous for was he headbutt somebody? He kicked somebody, didn't he, Vinnie Jones?
He grabbed Gaz's balls, and he also was the quickest person to ever get sent off in a football match.
Really?
Yeah.
Has he got a record for that?
I don't know if he's still got the record, but
He kicked
yeah,
off before the game. He walked
as
down
soon,
the- walked
as
down
soon
the
as the
field, just
whistle
kicks the ref.
blowed, he just ran at the player and just two-footed him.
Bloody hell. That must have been some years ago, because Vinnie Jones stopped playing a while ago, didn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah, years ago.
It's full scene of Billy Madison. He asked the parents if he could throw the ball as hard as he could. They cut rolling right before they started crying. Oh. So the scene of Billy Madison when they were playing dodgeball, the parents of the kids actually let him beam them with the fucking balls.
Really?
It's an article about what you can't do now.
What's that? What's Zeus? Zeus, have you seen Gridron?
Gridiron Gang.
Gridiron Gang. With The Rock. I haven't seen that, no. But I'm assuming that's in a prison. That sounds like it should be in a prison.
It's in a, I think it's in a children's home or whatever you call it in America.
Like a juvenile, center.
Yeah, juvenile
Like
center.
detention center, yeah.
Yeah. And what's Eric Cantona mostly known for? I think it was just getting sent off, wasn't it? Because that's all he ever did.
Eric Cantona kicking a fan in the face.
Yeah, he kicked him in the face, didn't he? Now we're going to football now. I mean, that's terrible. I don't hate football. Don't get me wrong. I got a lot of respect for football players, kind of. But I just my wife's laughing at me. I've just never been a big football fan. I don't know why.
That was in The Waterboy. Oh, I'm sorry, I just thought of something and yelled out the random part of my sentence. The random part of my thought. When I was thinking, there's this scene in The Waterboy where he.
She the devil, Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, Bobby Boucher. And he picks him up, he body slams him, and then he kicks the guy in the head.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, why is that a penalty? It was a clean kick to the face.
And what's he say to the guy who looks like Colonel Sanders? You better shut up, Colonel Sanders. My mama knows. I love
My mama said the reason the alligator's so angry is because the guy got all damn teeth and no toothbrush. My mom said, your mama don't know. It's like, my mama's a wonderful human being.
She the devil, Bobby Boucher. That's all I remember from that movie. I love that movie. But you see, I think there's a lot of nostalgia value around them as well.
Yeah,
they're like movie. I mean, for example, my most nostalgic movie is a movie called Biodome. It's got Pauly Shore in it, and also.
What do you want to do with your life? Die and come back as a leotard?
So that was it. What's your ideas for the future? Die and come back as a leotard. That's good. And but I watched it not long ago, and I thought, fuck me, this is crap. But I know not in like a bad way, just in like this has been put together really badly. It's kind of, but it's a nostalgia idea, and I think like Waterboy and movies like that, there is a nostalgia idea to it. Remember Nipples from Waterboy, Nipples.
Yeah, he's a person that's always in Adam Sandler's movies, but I can't remember who it was, like who the guy actually is.
Oh, is he the guy that goes, "You can do it all night long"?
That's Rob
Schneider.
Schneider.
I know who that is. That's Rob Schneider, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The guy who played the dude with the nipple head, tit head from
It's
Little Nicky.
If it's a guy I'm thinking of, it's a guy that no one can understand.
Oh yeah, you want to see homos naked?
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Homies waiting naked. You want to see homos naked? Homies waiting naked.
Blake Clark is Farmer Fran, if that's the guy that he's thinking of, Farmer Fran.
Farmer Fran. He says rubber. The guy who was rubbing his nipples. I remember some guy like doing
Schneider,
this. Was that Rob Schneider? I like him.
Movie, but Little Nicky was the different guy. They called him Tit Head.
Tithead.
no! It was when he was climbing up the thing, and it was a whole dude entirely different. Okay, I remember that scene now. He was floating up to try to find the girl, and he got to the wrong window, and some guy with women's clothes was doing this dance around to himself because he didn't know there was somebody coming up.
Yes.
I remember that now.
But that's what I mean. It is like
Coco.
hello,
Give me that
Coco, how you
right now.
doing? That's the one. That's the one.
Coco comes in with me doing this.
Rubbing his nipples. We're talking about nostalgic movies, and also we were talking about the Matrix trailer. We're just kind of going over a few kind of things, what we think about it, and how it's going to go forward. I was just saying that it just seems to be repeating the same kind of stuff. But anyway, we were on about what's his name? Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. What's the one where he plays golf?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. I love that.
That's perspective how I was the first one to ever take my skate off and try to stab somebody.
No, it was Bubble Boy was somebody else.
Bubble Boy
was the guy with the pie, wasn't he?
That was Jake Gyllenhaal. The guy with the pie was
Yeah, it was.
I'm the pie fucker. What's his name?
Yeah, the pie fucker. That's the one. But that was Bubble Boy. Yeah, the new Matrix.
Bubble Boy was Jake Gyllenhaal. He was the one that also played in Donnie Darko and the Marine, and no, not the Marine, Jarhead. Marine was John Cena.
That's another good, isn't it? Have either of you ever seen the second Donnie Darko?
No, yeah. I haven't even seen the first one.
Fucking crap. Don't ever watch it. I promise you. Donnie Darko, the original one. Hello, Ghost. How you doing, mate? Nice to see you here. We're having a little podcast tonight, talking about movies and games and stuff, mate. Hydrate. Thank you very much, Gold. Sorry, where was I?
We were making fun of Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko, the second one. It's an absolute embarrassment because the first one is kind of like this whole mystery thing. Is it in his head? Is it what's going on?
Yeah. You don't need to. Yeah, they tried explaining it and making it a real thing for the second one.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, we were so deep into this idea. But like, well, no, it was just an artistic movie and it looked good.
I love Donnie Darko. It was such a cool movie. Noise.
A friend of mine died right before that came out, like right before we watched it, so it has a lot more of a, I don't know, sentiment to us in a way when we watch it. But
of course, I've seen Lost Boys. That thing's talking weird, man. I don't like that thing. It looks like a prop from Phasmo. You creepy doll. I know that is a creepy doll.
It's a creepy doll.
How can you be in the same house as that doll?
The thing is, I can't be in a room for too long if it has a mirror in it because it freaks me out.
Okay.
This I will put like up on my mantle and just I don't know what it is.
There's a movie that was released. You can't. I don't blame you. I wouldn't be able to either. There's a movie that was released in about 1987 called The Dolls, and the idea is it's like an 80s kind of slasher movie, but the car breaks down and they go to this old like manor house, and there's this old couple in there that make dolls, and at night time they come alive and kill anybody who's been naughty. And I promise you that I watched that when I was like maybe 6 years old, and ever since then I don't like dolls, like porcelain faced dolls. I just don't like them. They're ugly things, scare the hell out of me. And there was this one in that movie that was like a Punch and Judy.
Oh, not Punch and Judy. Oh, they're annoying as fuck, them.
Yeah, Punch and they still do those down by the seaside.
Yeah.
What?
Do they?
Yeah.
Wow. I would like to go see one of them. You know, like Punch and Judy. Basically, it's a male doll and a female doll. And the male doll constantly harasses the female doll, and then she hits him with a rolling pin. That's basically the idea of Punch and Judy. Okay,
I've seen this before. I've seen this before, like on TV, but I get it. Poltergeist did it for me in the clown doll under the bed.
Cheers, Coco. Thanks for that, mate. I love that. I've got a new like CS:GO chat thing, and it's basically these two guys just swearing at each other.
No,
Poltergeist. Yeah, it's funny, man. Poltergeist was. I watched the remake of it. I can't remember it, so it couldn't have been that good. But the original ones were like, they were fantastic. They were crap. It is amazing, Coco, definitely, mate. I love that CS:GO one. They were crap, but they were really good movies. It's like the original It. I could talk forever. You'll have to dump in, mate. But the original It, for me, the TV movie, was fantastic. I know the effects were rubbish, and I know the storyline had holes in it big you could drive a truck through. But it was. I think it's the nostalgia around that movie, the year it was made, the people that are in it. I think it's a fantastic.
Tim Curry. as the
awesome.
Yeah.
as it the clown. What a
Exactly.
fantastic performance.
Yeah.
He's really ill at the moment as well, isn't he, Tim
Yeah.
Curry? It's a shame, man. This guy's a legend, absolute legend.
Since we've been on the topic of like Matrix getting sort of like a remake sort of thing, what do
Yeah,
you think about Beetlejuice getting a remake?
I think that's wrong in every kind of way.
I don't
I
even.
just,
They shouldn't do a remake of it. Beetlejuice is one of those stories you need to keep having like one every 20 years because it's like a story you have to have for each generation. But they shouldn't remake it.
Zeus has said all I need to say, just a line of no's in a row. It's because it's like they were talking about doing a remake of the Goonies. I mean, Beetlejuice and the Goonies to me is a movie that I kind of grew up with, and I was older obviously when Beetlejuice came out. But to actually remake it, you've got the chance of them fucking it up for one. I mean, they're never. I'm assuming they're never going to get Batman to do it. Michael Keaton.
Looking
Like-
at the cast for Beetlejuice 2, Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Alec Baldwin, which I think were all
Wow.
in it.
All the originals.
Yeah, and
I
obviously
think
some
this
new
came up.
faces.
I
Okay.
think this came up somewhere before, and they were asking if it'd be reasonable to do a remake of a movie, and I said as long as the original cast to do it, then
Yeah.
it could be reasonable to do. Like, but when you just start trying to do the whole thing over again, it just started. I think it was us last week. We were talking about remaking old movies like Ghostbusters and like the new ones that came out and how much.
Yeah.
They
The,
just
the
did them
Wonderful Woman version of it. Oh, that version's so good.
I've been looking on that IBM or whatever it's called. I've actually started to get interested in new movies now because I've been very much out of the IMDb or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
IMDb.
Yeah, or whatever. And that movie got really good reviews, but then every single it got over the top. Like people were saying it was great, and then everybody underneath who were just saying it's shit. It's a pile of crap. It's a pile of crap. And did you hear about on Twitter? This is quite funny, I thought. Basically, they tweeted out it was Amazon Prime, the movie thing. They tweeted out which movie would you like to be a totally female cast, and they got slated for it. Everyone, they got so many reviews just basically saying the one guy said, I want to please make 300 again with women, but you must keep the outfits the same. But I was asked your opinion on Hackers. My opinion on Hackers and
that was a good movie. It's just
Hackers.
unrealistic, but good.
I'm trying to remember that movie. Who was in that
With
movie?
Angelina Jolie, Matthew Lillard. They were the big ones. I forget who the other character or who else played in it, but Dawson. Who the fuck played Dawson? Dawson's Creek.
I've never
Jonny
seen
Lee
that.
Miller, Matthew Lillard, Angelina Jolie, Jesse Bradford, some guys whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce, Fisher Stevens, Lawrence Mason.
Yeah,
Penn
I've never seen it.
from Penn and Teller was in it
Yeah,
as well.
Really?
Yeah. He played the hacker guy, like one of the main not main hacker guys, but one of the celebrity people in the movie. What the fuck was the guy's name? The guy who played Dawson's Creek. James
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
James Van Der Beek. That's his name.
Zeus is asking what's all of our favorite war movies.
Saving Ryan's Privates. I mean, Saving Ryan, Private Ryan.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal. Hold on, I'm thinking. See, I like Hamburger Hill. Hamburger Hill.
Oh, with Clint Eastwood.
I don't know whether Clint Eastwood's not in it. Hamburger Hill. It's I was like made in the 80s. It's a Vietnam movie. I don't think it's got Clint Eastwood in it.
Who the fuck is it? Well, he was in the movie when he gets up on the hill, like he gets up there, and the general asks him, he's like, "What do you think of it?" He's like, "Well, sir, frankly, I think it's a clusterfuck."
No. It's basically they never capture the hill. It was kind of like a big screw up for the Americans because obviously you're an American, no offense, but they ended up shooting the shit out of their own people. More Americans died from American bullets than died from the opposition side bullets, and it was
Which war was that based off of?
Vietnam.
Oh, okay. The one I'm thinking of is World War II.
Ah, okay, it's a different one then.
I think it's a World War II one. It was one of my mom's favorite movies.
It's a really interesting movie. Like it's kind of gone down the same genre as like Full Metal Jacket. I like Full Metal Jacket as well.
Are they hear me?
Saving Private Ryan. I loved
couldn't
it
get
for the
past the opening
first like hour, and then after that, it's just a lot of walking. I
Like
didn't
Lord
really
of the
like that.
Rings.
Yeah, like Lord of the Rings, just like 4 walking movies in a
Like
row.
Jewish fucking walk in that movie.
Yeah. And at the end, he throws the. If you see, no, you got to see Clerks too. If you say
Clerks
that,
too.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clerks too.
I just made this nerd throw up.
I just made a Lord of the Rings nerd throw up. I love that. Have you seen
So
Casualties of War with Michael J. Fox? No, I have not seen. Pulp Fiction, amazing movie. Casualties of War, guys. Have you ever heard of that?
Never heard of it.
No, I've heard of it. Never.
Michael J. Fox. I've got to have a look at that because I want to see more of Michael J. Fox because he was sick, wasn't he? For quite. I
I
think
he
he
has
still is.
Parkinson's.
He's got
Yeah.
Parkinson's, I think.
So, what's the movie? Born on the 4th of July. That's a good one.
Very good movie.
With,
I'm just gonna look up Casualties of War, and just have a little look through.
The best
Casualties of
movie
War.
I've seen as of late
Oh,
has got to be A Quiet Place, like 1 and 2. They're both good movies.
I want to see those. They look good.
See, I like
Casualties of War, 1989. He was a young man in that as well. Check that out. Bloody hell.
that
and
was
it had-
after that was probably his way of trying to get out of the whole Marty McFly shadow of being like the good what was that other movie he did? The werewolf one?
Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf, yeah. Like he was trying to
Teen
probably
Wolf.
get out of that teen pretty boy persona that he had at the time. He did a war movie.
Sean Penn. I like Sean Penn. Was he the man married to Madonna at one stage?
Yep.
I think everyone in the acting industry has been married to Madonna at some stage, isn't they?
Yeah,
That's
she's
why
not desirable, is she, anymore, Madonna?
Well, isn't she like nearly 70?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for someone her age, definitely.
Well, I mean, yeah, but she's been around the block, hasn't she, Madonna?
Yeah, but at that
Several
point, you just put the
times.
will up on the headboard and just kind of.
Oh, fair play to her. We've got to get out there. But yeah, Casualty of the War. I'll have a look into that, mate. Pulp Fiction was just
Great movie.
yeah. That was it. I think they were joking about making a full female cast of Pulp Fiction. I hope they were joking. I just don't understand what the point of it all is. Married to a guy, Pierce.
Well, that's what,
yeah.
That's not Quentin Tarantino for you. Most of his movies don't seem to have like real points, but doesn't get to such intricacy that they just hold up on their own.
Tarantino is a very clever man.
Yeah.
And what he does, in my mind, this is in my very low level. Guy Ritchie, yeah, he's the one who wants to be a gangster, and he comes from London, but he grew up in Surrey. Yeah, Guy Ritchie. But Tarantino is a massive film buff. He loves films, and I think all his films are just like homages to old movies. Yeah, I think it's his way of just kind of paying tribute to the past, or just trying to be clever. I think that's what he tries to do.
It's neat. Like he created his own film universe in a way without actually. Like Paul said, if you look at each of his films, they're all interconnected in one way or another. Like you'll find like different made-up companies. Like
Yeah.
He made up a company in one movie, and then you'll find that product in other films that he's done.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. And then they'll reference his movies and made his entire like universe around like his films. And
He's definitely a very clever. Did Tarantino do Snatch? No,
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie did Snatch, didn't he? Yeah, Snatch is a great movie though. I love Snatch. You ever seen Snatch, the zombie mate?
yeah. I think I brought that one up last week when we were talking about what's his name. And you said something about the pretty boy being able to do a pikey accent.
Pikey accent, yeah. That's a good movie, that is. But also Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels was a good one from
brilliant.
Guy Ritchie. That's a
Lucky
good
number
movie.
11. Same
Lucky
people.
number 11.
Lucky number 7.
Was that Guy Ritchie?
Yeah.
No, not Guy Ritchie, but I know I had the other guy,
Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
But didn't they make like 15 of them? Wasn't it like was that Lucky Number 11 and stuff like
No.
that?
You're thinking of Ocean's
11,
Ocean's
yeah.
11.
The one that was only ever
12.
supposed to be one movie of, but they made 100 of them out of it just because they
Yeah.
want to make some money.
Well,
I
they
know.
made 3 and they tied them in pretty good. They were all pretty good. The later ones didn't grab what the first one did. They were all really well written. Just
I never
didn't have the novelty.
Never really watched any of them. I never really got into. I've seen the original one back like years ago, but never seen any of the new ones with Brad Pitt. But I do like Brad Pitt. He's a good actor.
They did
12
a
Monkeys.
female version of that Ocean's film, didn't they?
and it bombed, didn't it?
Yeah.
It really went down badly. I don't think it. I don't. But the thing about this female thing, I'll get into it because it's obviously a political statement. I don't want to go into too much detail, but the world isn't like that, is it?
No.
There isn't just women. You know, there's blokes and there's women, and it's like a mix of people. So to make a movie realistic in the real world, you have to have different sexes in it.
Yeah.
Like I
and-
could see like before, like I understand that they did exclude women from certain parts of it, but like to overcorrect is what they're doing. They're overcorrecting by like making it entirely about women. It's like no, you're included. Make it realistic. I mean, obviously there are movies that actually they could do remakes of with complete women cast, which would be interesting. But like, Bridesmaids,
yeah.
that movie, that was an awesome.
But also, I mean, if you go back and you look at some of the movies that do have women cast in it, there are some amazing movies. I can't remember the name, but it's got Angelina Jolie in it. It's got the girl that got done for shoplifting. She was in Beetlejuice.
Fiona Apple. Oh no, Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder, and it basically she gets committed.
28 days later.
No,
That's
it's
28 weeks. 20.
no, it's basically she gets committed into a mental institute, and she's in there with Jodie Angelina Jolie, and
Girl
then
Interrupted. That's it.
yeah, Girl Interrupted. That is a fantastic movie. Because it makes. I think so. I think it's a great movie. I think the characters are all really strong. They're strong women. Yeah, they've had troubled backgrounds, but it fits that circumstances. I mean, it would be the same as trying to make a male prisons movie with women in it. You know what I mean? They wouldn't
it's
work.
a different dynamic.
Exactly.
It's a different dynamic. Like there are women prisons. Do it like a women's prison. Don't try to put in like that. Like no, just make it realistic.
I don't know if you've ever
good
seen
movie,
this, Paul,
Zeus.
or if you've ever got it in America, but there's a woman's program where there was two. One called Bad Girls, which was mainly based on women, and a prison called Wentworth Prison, which is like a new show mainly for women. Obviously, there's men in there as the prison guards, but it is just basically around the women, and that's a great show.
It's the same as the color. The new color is
Orange is
the new black.
Orange is the new black.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Zeus just put it. That I loved that. I watched that with my wife. She loved it. I thought it was a great TV show. But I think to take something which is nostalgically like Ghostbusters for a good example, so take something that's nostalgically remembered as a group of misfit blokes together, and then change it into something else, into like a way of digging at another sex or another person is a wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I just. And also, it just wrecks it, doesn't it? And that's why it bombs. Because I don't care. Like everybody of kind of our generation, like the Y and the Z kind of generation, we grew up on things like that. So to see it now be kind of swept around and broken, it's kind of like, oh fuck, what'd you do that for? You know what I mean?
It seems like a disservice too, because like the people who are making those movies in general are trying to capitalize on the idea of like, oh, let's just do this with just women, so that way we can get that feminist crowd in to watch our films. They don't actually take the time to write out good movies because they have to get them out in a timely fashion to follow along with the political atmosphere.
Most definitely, and that doesn't do justice to the movie. That doesn't continue the whole idea of the movie. It doesn't make money because they're losing money hand over fist.
It's like the new Charlie's Angels. Like I don't know if any of you have seen that or the old ones.
I've seen the old ones.
Yeah, with Farrah Fawcett back in the day, and then now the new one with Drew Barrymore and Cameron Diaz.
God, that's not new now, mate. That's about 20 years old.
Yeah, there's one with Cameron Diaz, Lulu, and Drew Barrymore. Then they made a new one with her out with Twilight and two other people who I have no idea. New.
With who from Twilight?
Newer, Joy. Newer, sorry.
It's not the 70s one, but yeah, you're right, mate. Sure, you're very right. It's got a bit of age to it now. I was watching a review on the game for the PlayStation 2 the other day. God, it was awful. It was terrible. You need to watch a guy called a YouTube channel. Oh God, I can't remember what they're called. But anyway, they just review games. I think it's Jump Slide or something like that. It's on YouTube, and they review like old games that have been made from movies. And of course, they just throw these games out just to make some cash. And it's fucking awful. But the Charlie's Angels, it was more of a But even the original one, it was quite sexist in the sense of it was like it was fit birds and this one bloke in the middle of the original ones were. And later on, it was obviously quite sexist because Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, and
Lulu.
Lulu, they were nice looking women, weren't they? So they
Yeah.
were obviously they were selling it because of that. It wasn't really much else.
Well, the new one though with them, I think was a little bit different. It was the original one. It was basically back in the 70s. That was like straight up stereotype sexualizing, selling
Yeah.
because they're hot and shit like that.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think Barrymore and them, they wanted to, like, the people that they chose for it specifically because of like Drew Barrymore's history, like being tough, Lucy Liu being a martial artist and something like an actual accomplished and that sort of thing. Like they were trying to show that they could be sexy and powerful at the same time.
Yeah. But if you remember the first movie that came out, the first scene in that movie was a swimsuit competition that all the girls had to get involved in.
Well, yeah,
So it was obvious that it was kind of like he was swayed towards that kind of thing. And
yeah, but I'd do that too if I had the ass for it. I mean,
I would, yeah, I'd do a wet
exactly.
t-shirt
So
competition if I had the assets. But I definitely think that was kind of sold towards that kind of. That's what I'm trying to say. It was they were using it as a. But I think the new one. I mean, like for example, Terminator. What was that in Terminator when they did?
Judgment Day.
No, it wasn't Judgment Day. It was a relatively new one, and I think they made it an all lady cast. But I quite liked that. It was was it Salvation?
Could be.
I'm not sure, but there was one that was made and it was an all lady cast, and I didn't mind that, but it was a different timeline, so it kind of fit in with the story. But that got slated as well. I don't know why that got slated, but it was
Well, because at that point, everything's getting treated as if it's a
Dark
ploy for money.
Fate.
Dark Fate. Yes,
It was the newest one, and it was
Yeah.
pretty much all ladies.
Oh, what am I fucking doing this thing?
I
Well,
watched
thank you
it,
for
and
explaining.
it wasn't a very good film. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the greatest film, and
No,
that's
I
not
mean,
because
well,
it all had women in it. It's just because it wasn't a good film in general.
yeah, it wasn't
I
the
didn't
greatest
watch
move
the one.
to a Terminator movie, 100%. It wasn't the greatest Terminator movie, but it was like a storyline that you could kind of get into and you could see it alongside the other one. So it was an okay. Oh, for me, it was an okay. I have returned. Hello, gamer. Nice to meet you. We are talking about movies and general stuff, really. So if you want to chuck a topic in, go for it. Zeus has put a few ones in there. But yeah, get involved, man. So yeah, but you know what I mean, though. You could kind of watch it and still understand the other ones, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. The continuity went on with the film.
Yeah, and it was okay. But if you're going to completely rip apart an old movie just to make something new, just because you want to put over a political message, I don't think that's right.
No.
I don't think that's right at all. Because you destroy the art that was originally there, and also you destroy a lot of nostalgia, like I've said before. But
Backlash for that.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're going to do the how would you survive the apocalypse?
The scenarios. How would you survive certain scenarios? Favorite video game from your childhood? Should we talk about that, or should we do the scenarios?
We could do favorite get a video games first, couldn't we, eh?
Yeah.
I think mine would have to be I don't know. I've been asked this question before, and I kind of go over and over again. But I think Final Fantasy is one that I always had a lot of history with. I was never particularly good at it, but Final Fantasy or Resident Evil, they were kind of my big ones. I mean, before that, obviously, it was Double Dragon, Nintendo Entertainment System. So Double Dragon, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy. If
Yeah,
I
I
had to
remember
pick
Resident
one,
Evil.
Well,
Resident Evil.
Sega Saturn.
which Final Fantasy 7 did you? Which Final Fantasy did you start on? With you being a bit older than me, like my first Final Fantasy was number 7. So which one did you start on?
I never had. I could never afford. Double Dragon was cool. I could never afford like the original ones on NES or anything like that. I had
Yeah,
like
speak
3
about-
games on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I think all of those came with it. Like yeah, Bomberman was one of them. I'm sure it
Bomberman.
was. Mario, the first one, and Duck Hunt. That's the only 3 games ever on the Nintendo. And then I went from Nintendo to PlayStation 1. So my first, excuse me, my first real look at Final Fantasy was also Final Fantasy 7. Because we just didn't have the money. We was poor.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Speaking of games that got turned into movies, fucking Double Dragon.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite movies as a kid, but it's a horrible movie when you think about how it was put together and when it was made. Like it was nothing but like the glitz and just flash of video game.
But it was cool. But
It
it's
was.
nostalgia thing. It's like the original Mortal Kombat movie. It's
Well,
fucking
with
awful.
the Double Dragon, I remember because I was a kid, and I remember there's one scene in the movie where where one of the bad guys goes, "Oh sh," and he stops before he says shit. And being a kid, it's like, "Oh, you almost cursed. That's so funny." Then you
It
look
kind of
at it
stands
now,
out in your head, doesn't it?
it's
Gumshoe, Wild Gumshoe. What was Wild Gumshoe?
Gumshoe. Wasn't that like a detective thing?
I don't know. Ghost is saying it. I'm just gonna Google it up. Google it up. Wild Gumshoe.
I have no idea. Most of these games, like you're saying, going over my head, like Double Dragon, Gumshoe.
You must remember Double Dragon, though.
The movie I remember, because I googled it. I definitely remember the movie.
Wild Gun Man. Wild Gum. I put Gumshoe. Wild Gun Man. Wild Gun Man. Oh, it's a cabinet arcade. Let's have a look at images of that. Oh, that was the cowboy one. You had to shoot the guys. I remember that one. And Gumshoe is a separate one. I do remember Gunman, but I did. Well, we didn't have that one. All we had was Duck Hunt and that stupid laughing dog.
Hey, look what I found.
That's all we could do. Sorry. Go on, Mighty. What's yours then?
What my my gaming child was Final Fantasy VII.
Has to be. I don't blame you. That's a good one. And you, Zombie?
Hold on.
Cat's gone wild again.
Oh, yeah.
My cat keeps farting. Fuck, it stinks. Oh, I'm sure she's farted again.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, mate. So what's your childhood game?
Who, me? Sorry, I got distracted. Thrown off. For me, like I remember, like you were saying, Mario when it came on the Nintendo, and then I had Sega. I played NFL Sports Talk Football with John Madden, and that was like that started like my whole thing. That's why I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. That's why because of John Madden. That's why I like football. That's why I ever, got into anything sport related. So then I played that all the way up until PlayStation and Xbox came around.
Yeah. Ghost is saying is Mega Man. Mega Man 2. Mega Man 2 was a hard game, but it was a cool game. I remember playing that at my mate's house, but never could get further than the first screen, if I remember rightly. That was a cool one. But football like games and sports games, the only other game I ever played was Sensible Soccer on the Amiga 500.
Oh wow!
That's the only game I ever played. I was never into football. Or there was the Brutal Sports, which was on the Mega Drive. I did play that a couple of times. But no sport.
There's the football game where it's like they're all demons and stuff like that. And,
yeah.
Old and stuff like that. Yep.
And they kind of rip each other apart and stuff. And it's like you can run around a chainsaw. I like that game. That was cool. But me and sports never really got. I mean, I was the kind of kid that on sports day we went down the offie and bought a bottle of cider instead of doing sports day. That's what we were. Never really got into it. So, Fallout Apocalyptic World.
Right. So, what game would you like to start with, or what movie? Because the first one that's coming to my head is Resident Evil. Like,
don't go in a mansion.
Never go in a mansion.
Well, if you're talking zombie apocalypse, I mean, you have to clarify which type of zombies you're talking about, which type of apocalypse. Is it viral? Is it bacterial? Is it the type where if you die, do you turn into a zombie, or do you have to be infected by a zombie to turn? There's so many different variables.
Let's stick to a game. Jeez, man, that feedback on your camera, it sounds like that doll is fucking talking to me, man. It's starting to scare the shit out of me. I keep hearing, I
would eat your heart.
Oh no.
Well, if that was you, I'm glad that's you. Yeah, if they stuck an actual game story, the film could have been so much better. What are we talking about, Zeus?
Resident Evil, probably.
Resident Evil, of course.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, definitely. I think what they did, they took it from a comic book, I believe, because Alice was. I'm not too sure. I'm not 100%. I don't know all of it, but I think Alice was a character from a manga series or a comic book series, and then they built the film around that. So she was part of canon, as you say, but it wasn't like the people that kind of we grew up with. Ghost Rider films and how shit they were. Ghost
Oh,
Rider.
Jesus.
What it is, Nick Cage made them movies.
Exactly. There's a Netflix Resident Evil film being made. Is that like a continuation of the Alice thing?
Oh, please no, because them films went downhill hard.
Let's
The first
let's
few were great.
Yeah,
After that,
zombie movies or anything like that, as soon as you start getting into the like mutated weird creature things with the like lickers and the tyrants and all those different things, those you get away from it. Like I'm a fucking purist when it comes to zombies and that sort of thing like that. It's like
Wow. You
what's
can
up?
actually hear me now. Well, I got a raid. Hi, King, how you doing?
Hey King, what's up?
Very nice to have a raid, mate. We're just kind of chatting over movies and having a look into things. Careful, don't talk about St. Nicholas. I wasn't going to say a thing. I think Nick Cage is bloody amazing. I think he's
great.
been in some movies, even like the crappy movies. I think they're fantastic.
Have you seen Willy's Wonderland?
No,
No, not such
but I want to.
Please give it a
That
watch.
sounds scary, to be honest.
It's kind of like a Five Nights at Freddy, not piss take, but a continuation, isn't it? That's the idea.
It's supposed to be its own thing, according to the writers.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be its own thing, but obviously it's gonna
For the
have
Viking.
things like that movie, like Five Nights at Freddy, just simply because it's animation. It's what do you call them? I'm trying to think. Robotic killers.
Yeah, animatronics.
That's the word I was looking for.
Animatronics.
Thanks.
So Outdoor is saying that Nicolas Cage is the best artist for the last 20 years. I gotta say, he's been in some of the best movies.
100%.
He's done some shitty movies, but I think he's done quite well in them. Like for example, the English movie that he did. He did. I can't remember. The Wicker Man.
Yeah,
Wicker
it was
Man.
good in The Wicker Man.
A lot of people slated that. I quite liked it. I mean, I don't think it was as good as the original because it had like obviously Dracula in it. You can't beat him, but it was a good movie. I've not seen a single of his paintings. Art of War, very good movie. I like that. Is that the one when he stands there and all the bombs go up
Mandy's
in the background?
unbelievable. Have you seen Mandy before, Bol?
Andy, no, but I've seen trailers for it and it looks pretty cool. But I'm mixed.
Nicolas Cage bugs me.
Wild at Heart, yeah, good one. He also did that one where he wants to commit suicide, and unless this is something else, because my brain power is terrible. Raising Arizona, that's the one I'm thinking of, I think, where he wants to commit suicide, so he goes into Las Vegas, spends all his money on like drugs and stuff, and then the hooker that he's with convinces him not to kill himself. Is that Raising Arizona, or am I talking absolute shit? Yeah, not Warlock. But that was good. Going back to this Resident Evil Netflix series, the pictures look as cheesy as fuck. They look really cheesy. Leon Kennedy's in it, and also Claire Redfield. Looks like a bit of a Resident Evil 2 kind of thing. It's going to be a series, a TV series. Yes, they do. Okay, cool. You agree with me? That's all right.
Potential. It could be good, but they're probably. I don't know. I don't have hope for it.
It could. I think it could be, but I don't know. Netflix have got their hands on it, and it just looks like people cosplaying really badly in the pictures. That's all I'm seeing. But Nicolas Cage. I mean, I want to see that movie when he's doing the animatronics things. I think that'd be cool. Going back to Ghost Rider. Geez, man, we're changing it all around. Ghost Rider is a cool character in the comic books. The comic book series is amazing. I love Ghost Rider as a character, but I think they didn't do it justice. It's like Spawn when they made Spawn. The film did not do the comic books justice, and it's the same with Batman.
Batman didn't have the funding.
What's that?
Spawn, like for the Spawn movie, I think it was they didn't have the funding right.
More than likely.
The way they wanted to.
What with Michael J. White as Spawn?
Yeah, he was a good actor. Fantastic. It was the movie. The idea was cool. It's nothing about that. I just think the effects weren't good. The storyline wasn't good. There was a few holes here and there. It was just 90s cheese. It was kind of. I think they could have done it a lot better. It's in the same kind of category as Ghost Rider. it's a movie you can watch and it's okay. The actors are good, but I think the production of it wasn't great. It's the same with Ghost Rider. The actors were all there. I think the story was all there, but they're filming a new Spawn. Yeah, I thought so because that's why I had it in the front of my head.
Who's lead actor?
Let's have a look. I'll Google it unless somebody gets there first. So I'm assuming it'll be Spawn 2021. Actors. It'd be cool if they continue it on because I don't know who he is. Hold on. Can't be Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen doesn't. No.
Spy movie before.
Every time I look at your screen, I just see fucking thingy there.
Jamie Foxx. That's a cool. Yeah. Well, I'm seeing Jamie Foxx here. Whether I'm right.
Jamie Foxx, I don't think that's a role for him. Personally, he's a good actor, but that's not a role for him.
I don't know. I think he could do quite good.
Is he
I
the
don't
guy
know.
who played?
Is he the guy who played that movie with the guy with the piano?
Oh, it's fake anyway. It's fake. That's a shame, though, isn't it? I think Jamie Foxx wouldn't be that bad. It's like when they said, do you remember when Batman was coming out and they were going to have and it was like they said it was fake news and that it was going to be what's that guy called? The one who married Jolie, J-Lo.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. They said it was going to be Ben Affleck, and then everyone said it was fake, but it wasn't. But they said that was fake then, so maybe Jamie Foxx might be the new Spawn.
So wait, Jamie Foxx, was he the one that played Ray Charles?
Yes.
I think he'd be quite good as Spawn. Actually, you're right. Am I right?
So here's a question: since we were talking
Jamie
about
Foxx
Batman,
Spawn.
what does everyone think of Robert Pattinson being the next Batman?
I don't know who he is, but let me have a look. I'll Google him because I'm terrible with names.
Was he Twilight?
Oh, it's that
He
guy.
certainly was, yes.
The vampire from Twilight, the one who played Edward.
Yeah, Gamer, we've already spoke about Shaving Ryan's Private.
I'll tell you again though. I liked the first hour, give or take, and then after that, it's just a walk-in movie. But it was a cool movie. But I just thought it went on for a bit long. Gamer. Yeah, it's going to be the vampire from Moonlight or whatever it's called, and
Twilight.
Twilight. That's the one.
Like that's the film that everyone talks about, right? But has anyone seen what's it called? He did a film with Willem Dafoe, Lighthouse or something like that, and he was brilliant in that movie.
I think he's quite a good actor. He's because he started off in Harry Potter, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, I think the first film he did was Harry Potter.
I don't know.
My stream delays. He looks okay in the trailer. Okay, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. I don't. Batman is a weird character. Batman. See, I still think that Michael Keaton played the best Batman. Now, I know that's probably because I'm old, but the reason why I think Michael Keaton played a good Batman is because he plays a good crazy person. Batman is mental. I love Batman. I've been a Batman fan for decades. I loved him.
Did you know he ad-libbed the "I'm Batman"? He was supposed to say something else, and this is what I've been told, that he was either hungover or he was really hungry, and he was just like, "Fuck it, I'm Batman" when he was filming. Just so
you know, off a slightly different topic of this, you remember the iconic scene from Indiana Jones where he shoots the guy with the swords?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a long, drawn-out battle.
Yeah, it's meant to be a massive battle, but Harrison Ford turned up hungover and he just pulled the gun out and pissed around and shot him.
No, he had 102 fever. He actually had the flu.
Oh, is that what it was? I know there was something wrong. He just decided
he couldn't get through it. So there's like, let's just do it this way. But the guy was pissed because he choreographed this whole damn thing and practiced it, and they cut his scene out of the movie for just a fucking few seconds of just getting shot.
But also going back to Batman, the Joker, Jack Nicholson, his line, one of the most famous lines in the first Batman movie, well, not the first Batman movie, but the first modernish day Batman, like the 1989 Batman, when he goes, where does he get all those cool toys? That was ad-libbed as well. But you see, actors back then, they had more free will with it, and also they had a brand new director. What's his name? The director for Batman. He went on to do a lot of movies.
Spielberg.
Huh?
Spielberg did the one with Danny DeVito. In,
No, no, he didn't. It was the guy who did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He did a lot of
Tim
things
Burton.
with Tim Burton. Yeah, Tim Burton. He did the
He's
first one.
doing the new Beetlejuice, Tim Burton.
Well, he did
Oh,
the
then that
original
might be
as
good.
well. So
That
Tim
might
Burton,
actually be good.
because you think about back in like 1989, Tim Burton was a brand new director. I don't think he'd ever really done much before that, apart from a few small movies. So I think he gave those actors, because they had a load more experience, like free reign. So they came out with lines like that. But I think that ad lib element, it's like it just makes the movie, and that's all those ad lib bits have kind of lived on further than the movie has. Like I'm Batman. I mean, people even meme it today. You know what I mean? So it's like, as I was talking to, I'm going to talk on fucking here forever now. But it's like the music of the '90s. The music of the, I think our world stopped at about 2001. And now it's just kind of repeating itself, because the music from the 90s and the movies from the 90s and late 80s are still popular now, and they continue. But I was thinking about this. It's like me back in 1992 listening to Cliff Richard. You know what I mean? That wouldn't have happened, would it? Heath Ledger did the best joke, 100%.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
100%, mate. 100%.
Jack Nicholson was the best cartoony version of it.
Yeah.
Like, Heath Ledger made it a real person. Like, if the Joker was going to be a person for real in the real world, that was him. But Jack
Actually,
Nicholson did a very good version
I
of
need
it.
to disagree with you all. Mark Hamill is the best Joker.
Mark
Yeah.
Hamill.
Voice-wise.
Yeah. Comic book series and then the cartoon series.
Yeah.
He's a damn good voice actor. But I mean, if you're talking like real world, definitely Heath Ledger. I still got a lot of respect for Jack Nicholson. He did, because he obviously took his guidance from the '60s. The '60s.
He made
cartoon.
the character. He made the cartoon of it come to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, Jack Nicholson could ad-lib his way through anything. Great actor. Jim Carrey as Riddler. I fucking loved that movie. I don't care what anybody says. I loved that movie. I know I shouldn't do. Jim Carrey was amazing. That riddle me this. He's fantastic. Who's afraid of the big black bat? That's a great line. Now I didn't like, because it was
Arnold
PER guy.
Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know. I think he played
Mr.
a really,
Freeze.
like a comical element to it, because it was Arnie Schwarzenegger, and then like before that I'd only ever seen Arnold Schwarzenegger in like The Predator or Conan, and then to see him in that, it was kind of like, wow, he's kind of funny at the same time. I once was red, but now I'm black instead. What am I? Yeah, he was cool. Jim Carrey, fuck, I'm going to talk on forever. Jim Carrey is amazing. I think he's fantastic as a straight actor. I obviously went off the rails a little bit.
If you look at I Love You, Philip Morris.
100%.
Have anyone seen Sonic with him in it? Like, for me, he was the best part of that movie.
I watched Sonic.
He loves that, but I haven't seen it.
I don't know what to say about Sonic. It's kind of a movie that you had to make, wouldn't it? But whether it should have been made is a different thing. It's like, I can do it, but should I really do it? Do you know what I mean? He got accused of killing his late wife, Jim Carrey. Really? I know he went through a bad patch, didn't he? He had some issues, but I didn't really
That
look.
was his son having autism, and then what's her name? Jenny McCarthy. Their kid has autism. She was a big anti-vaxxer for a long time.
Okay.
And she went on like TV and was going all against it until she found out that the doctor she was getting information from faked the whole fucking thing.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of shit.
It's just great. But I know, because he joined some kind of cult, didn't he? That was like saying that the world is fake and we don't exist on this plane and stuff. Sometimes I can understand that, but you'd have to be really tripping your balls off.
Where the world's real.
Yeah, well, if you look into Jim Carrey, when he did his interviews, he went to basically he hadn't been invited to this award ceremony. I don't know which one it was, but he had quite a famous interview outside, and he said, this woman was asking him questions, and all he said to her was, "You're a beautiful fiction of my imagination," and then went on to this crazy rant about the world being fake and nothing's real. But Jim Carrey's best film was Mask or Ace Ventura. Yeah, nostalgic value, man. Ace, Mask, and
It's,
Ace Ventura, fantastic. You can't go wrong. Ace Ventura is amazing. Oh, you gotta love him.
Excuse me, your balls are showing.
We're talking about Batman originally, weren't we? What were you?
Yeah,
What
we're
was your
still talking
original question, Almighty? I know
I
you
can't
said.
even remember. It's just gone. It's gone on one.
Which
Bumblebee
which,
Tuna.
which Batman movie do you think's the best one out of all of them?
I like the one is with Tom Hardy as Bane.
That was a good movie. That was a very good movie. Dark Knight, yes, definitely good. I'm going to go completely against the bone, and I'm going to say Batman Returns, 1991.
Who was
Kim
Batman?
Basinger. That was Michael Keaton. Kim Basinger in a cat suit. That was my early teenage fantasy.
Catwoman for me. Catwoman with Halle Berry.
No, thank you.
And your zombie, what's your favorite, man?
I'd have to go with Heath Ledger with the Joker in it, whichever one that was, the
That's
Dark Knight.
also very good. Worst two Batman movies.
Catwoman.
Yeah, but Batman wasn't in that one.
Yeah,
Val
well,
Kilmer and George Clooney. Yeah.
you know, one character I don't think they'll ever be able to actually capture, or at least not anytime soon, is fucking, at least to my standard, Harley Quinn.
Do you not like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn?
She looks good as the character. She's got the look, but the personality, I don't think we'll ever actually capture it right.
Have you seen the new one, Suicide Squad?
No.
It's an all right film. It starts off great, has an all right middle, but the ending is just nah.
It seems
I've
like
gotta
it's
be
one of those
honest.
characters they'll eventually find somebody who will play it right, but it won't be.
Yeah.
soon.
Worst Joker ever. Most definitely. Thank you
Jared
for the lurk,
Leto.
gamer. Jared Leto. That's why I was happy with the new Suicide Squad that he wasn't in it. I respect Jared Leto as an actor. I think he's been in some good movies. I mean, Fight Club, he played a good set of scenes. Uma Thurman, geez, man, yeah, Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. Wow, yeah,
I came up with an idea of like a Joker universe or a Batman sub universe where the entire Batman universe is in Harley Quinn's mind, and what she does is she convinces another, basically Joker, who when she meets him, he's in if you don't know the backstory, he's in a mental institution, and she goes to try to convert him.
yeah.
My idea is that like she's convincing him, who's like another socialite, like Bruce Wayne, like they grew up together. Him and Bruce Wayne grew up together, but he went crazy, and she's basically convincing this guy that he's this Joker and that the Batman and all this stuff is actually exists. That way she can continuously come in and try to treat him and get him to do all these crimes and shit like that. And she's actually the whole mastermind behind this whole damn thing.
So Harley Quinn's the whole mastermind. I kind of like the idea because I mean, obviously she's a psychologist and she's maybe just manipulating the situation. Yeah, I mean that would be cool. What about the movie Joker? I
With Joaquin Phoenix. I loved it. I love that film.
Right. I've got a lot to say, so I'm doing the silence beforehand. Joaquin Phoenix, if I'm saying his name right, is fucking amazing. I think he's done a fantastic job continuing the Heath Ledger idea. I think the movie is great. It goes on about social standards or everything. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was an amazing movie. I agree with you, Ghost. The only thing that annoyed me about the movie is not about the movie. I want to know how it fits in. I know it explains the end.
It doesn't.
And
it's
I know.
its own movie on its own.
Yeah.
Like it's not in the as far as I'm aware, it's not in the universe.
I think what I'm trying to say is I want to see more.
Yeah.
And I think when I got to the end, I was like, oh fuck. And I want to see how it continues from there. Yeah, I know it's a standalone movie, but I suppose it did a good thing then because it made me want to see more. I think the whole backstory of Joker is an interesting one, and the whole rebirth of Batman and the Joker as they simultaneously come together. Because that was all.
Sorry for interrupting, but did you know in the comics the Joker hasn't got a name? He has. People have given name like Arthur Fleck in the Joker is obviously Joaquin Phoenix's character. Then you've got someone in I can't remember what his name is in Gotham, the TV show, but the Joker himself has never been given an actual name.
Do you know why though? Do you know why that is?
Why?
because the Joker is in theory a projection of Batman's opposite side. So the idea is, you ever seen Memento? So he's constantly trying to fight this evil. So he's constantly trying to find the guy that killed his parents. That is why most comic books in most series always start off with the scene of his parents dying.
Yeah.
That's why people always get pissed off about seeing that scene again, because every bad guy is like a reincarnation of the person that killed his family. So he's constantly trying to fight this guy. And the idea of the Joker was that it was like yin and yang. They were split down the middle. And that is why at the end of the new Joker, they birth at the same time, because the Joker gets caught in the car crash and his parents get killed. So at that point, the idea is the two characters are born and they're born together. And that's why they're always there. But the reason is because, yeah, basically it's like a subconscious link between the two, and neither of them actually exist. And that's if you play the game Arkham City, where he's constantly fighting against Joker in his own mind. That's like the mental state. That's where Joker shouldn't have died, because it's actually part of Batman.
Yeah, that's why Batman would never kill Joker, never kill him in the comic books.
Yeah.
It's like the idea is like he's supposed to be like perfectly impure, and then the Joker's basically laughing at him like, "You'll never fix this."
Yeah.
Like, you're joking, you're kidding yourself, you're tricking yourself into believing this idea.
But also, in the movie, I can't remember his name, but the best Joker, what's his name?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
In the scene where the Joker's being interrogated and Batman grabs him around the neck and he says, "You can't kill me because I am you." It's kind of a hint towards that. But I don't think that's exactly what he says, but basically he says that. Then they do that in the Batman game. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. But yeah, John Doe was like a similar thing to the Batman, his constant enemy, which I love about Batman, because he's not sane. Batman is in no sense sane. He lost his marbles as soon as his parents got killed, and then he's obviously gone on this. It's fantastic. I love it, but it's just that whole break in psychosis. He basically broke, and then he just turned against everybody. But the only way he can continuously fight crime is to never realize that he's already got the guy that killed his parents. Sorry, I'll go into a big one there. That was a bit of a massive rant. That was.
Go ahead.
Going back to the Joker, fantastic movie, mate. I just want to see more, and I think that like a little bit frustrates me, because I want to see how it works. And I know it's supposed to be a standalone movie. I get that, but it's like The Walking Dead. I hate the guy with the baseball bat. I hated him. I stopped watching Walking Dead. But that is fantastic, because I actually physically hated that guy enough to not watch him on the telly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so let me stop. Negan, that's the guy. Let me stop, because I can rant on forever, me.
Go ahead.
I think we should do the apocalypse one, but I need to take a 2-minute break, so I need to go pop to the toilet. But we could do a break, or if you guys want to chat on ahead while I just pop to the loo. You want to do that?
I also need a toilet. So Zombie,
Okay, cool.
entertain the.
We are going to have a 5-minute break. We'll be back in a second, because I'm bossed in for a slash. I'll see you in a second.
We're back.
Hello there, everybody. Sorry about that. I really need to go to the old loo. I hope you're all well. Hope you're still here. But yeah, Negan really did wind me up some on the zombie apocalypse at the next topic is. But I think we have to definitely choose an exact game what we're going to survive or scenario. But I think we should stick to games. I think that'd be the best way. Two newlyweds turn up at a hotel and ask for the honeymoon suite. The receptionist asked, "Do you have a reservation?" The bride answers, "Yes." I won't take it up the arse. Sorry, that was terribly rude, wasn't it? I'm assuming these guys have gone off
I'm
for a
right
little
here. I
while.
just got a headache.
Got a headache?
Yeah.
Is it my talking? I bet it isn't it?
Yeah. I had a migraine before we started.
I just haven't made it any better. I like your backgrounds because Almighty's got his throne and you got the zombies. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I figured it's fitting. It goes with the name very well.
It does. I think you should you could do the zombie thing. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
It stands out quite well as well. Evil? No, it's not Evil Tim. I'm looking at the wrong one. Don't they do that in Batman Joker game? Yeah, they do. I've got to play that game again. So I'm gonna start playing that game again. Batman Arkham City. I do like that movie a lot. Very good movie. Game. Sorry, talking shit.
Oh. 1 minute, I need to sort my chair out.
Don't worry, mate. All them kegs at your ass, mate. You just ate that. Sat down for a while. Your ass gets hungry and it eats your pants. I ate that.
I'm surprised my ass hasn't hit my chair yet, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you ever heard about that woman who grew around her chair?
There's a woman that grew around the chair.
Yeah, she sat on his chair. It was a toilet. She actually physically grew around the toilet.
Oh.
Because she just sat there and ate, and her husband was feeding her over these years, and of course she got overweight because she wasn't moving, and she physically grew around the toilet. Her ass, yeah. Look, Google it if you want to. I don't think they've got pictures.
I don't really want to.
Right, let's have a go at this. Woman who grew around toilet seat.
Yeah. Remove it surgically. He had a face like he was shocked then.
Images,
Ooh.
let's have a look.
Oh, there are images of it.
No.
That's all right then. Jeez, man. That'd be awful. That'd be horrible, wouldn't it?
There's
Imagine
pictures
having...
of her, but not of
Okay. I think
you'd want to sit on a toilet.
I think she was quite sick, so it obviously wasn't her fault. But yeah,
Alex just got bored and didn't want to get up.
I think it was I'm not sure. I don't really know the whole story, to be honest with you, but I think she had some depression issues and she only felt comfortable in the toilet, so she just sat there. I
Well, I don't blame her. Like,
yeah,
toilets are a nice place to go.
yeah, I couldn't sit on one of her like donkey's years though, could I? Well, obviously she just got used to it, didn't she?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably the best place to go, isn't it? In with the new, out with the old, and all that.
It's where you come up with all your good ideas.
It's true. Yeah, sitting on the crapper. It's good. Praying to the porcelain gods. That's when you puke, isn't it? That is.
Yeah.
Where's that zombie gone? Where's he off to? What's he doing? Is he chasing that cat around again?
No, I'm right here. I'm just kind of like laying down for a second. I got a cold thing on my head. I'll keep talking.
Okay, cool. So, Almighty then. We have to choose a specific game and stick to that game only, and how you would survive that game. So, what are we going to start? We're going to start with Resident Evil.
We'll start with Resident Evil because they're zombie. If we stick with the first game, zombies, the one that was on GameCube and that.
Yeah.
After that, the continuity of the zombies just gets a bit wild.
Now, are we talking that we're part of the original team going in, or are you talking like we're just in that world where we're at right now?
I think you're you in that world.
Yeah, we're us in that world. Like, it's going to be different for me and Ball since we're in England, where guns are a rarity compared to you, zombie, with
Yeah.
having guns all the time.
But that's good.
Crazy people with bats. As soon as the zombie apocalypse comes, like people are just killing people in the street. They're gonna have a fucking field day.
Your mic's really got some wave on it, mate. It's proper feeding back.
Who mine is?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, but then again, I think that's quite a good thing because they send two opposite opinions. Because I mean, zombie will have a completely different idea of surviving the apocalypse to like me and you, where we'd have to kind of sharpen sticks and poke them with them.
Oh, Shaun of the Dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead
Okay.
style. Exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Hide in the pub. That's what every Englishman would do. Just
It
hide in the
is.
pub. English people, we drink when we're unhappy. We drink when we're happy. We drink any time, really. So if the zombie apocalypse is coming on, we're going to change nothing for that. We just go in the pub.
Yeah.
So got the strong. He's right there. They've always got the strongest doors because if you ever have to fight off a drunken person on a Saturday night, they have to be bloody strong doors. Because I promise you that.
First thing we got to do in a zombie apocalypse, though, is you got to avoid hospitals, police stations, and churches. Well, no, churches. Yeah, avoid churches.
Okay, we're going to go off the subject now. So the storyline is you're a regular guy, regular person. You're in that mansion in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, yeah? And you have to survive it. How would you do it?
I wouldn't. I'd
the
just kill
kitchen,
myself.
barricade it.
That's a bit defeatist, isn't it? Eh?
It
That's
says
terribly
getting chased
defeatist.
around or hide in a cupboard until.
You know what I'd do? You know what I'd do? I'd go in that hall and sit by the candle. And there's never a zombie in the hall. You could sit there forever, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's
You ain't far
true.
from the dining room. If I remember rightly, there's a big bowl of fruit there. That'll last you a couple of days. Yeah, and also if you go out the front door, there's only that one bloody dog that sticks its head in. You'd be all right. Give it a punch on the face, get out. You'd be all right, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and if you're thinking the original Resident Evil, I mean, you couldn't aim, so I'm a much better shot than those people.
Exactly. No one can aim in Resident Evil. It's hard to do. Hello, Legend. How you doing? Doing all right, mate. I'm well. Glad you've popped along. We are chatting about movies and surviving in games. Nice to see you in here, Legend, mate. How are you doing, sir? So how would you survive the the Resident Evil zombie apocalypse zombie? That's a bit of a mouth, isn't it? That's a
In the mansion or over here?
in a mansion, just in a mansion. I don't know
Well,
where the mansion is.
Yeah, I don't remember where they said it. Raccoon City, which
Yeah.
is kind of off of near Nevada area, I think. This is where they were trying to.
It's very tree, isn't it?
Like, yeah, it's like in the forest, like in the mountains. I think it's in the Rocky Mountains. Like, I think that's what they're trying to get into. Like,
Okay.
it's over near like Las Vegas, that type of like shit where they have like NORAD and all that other military Area 51 type shit.
Okay.
But you figure, okay, you're in the
Sausage and
mansion.
gravy.
You figure lock down like a certain room. Like I'd say, find the kitchen where the food is.
Yeah.
Clear that, lock it down, make sure that nothing can get into it when you're not there.
That's a good
Then-
question, though. Where was the kitchen in that mansion? Can you remember where it was?
If you eat a zombie, would you become a zombie?
It depends on the canon behind it. Is it a virus? Is it a bloodborne virus? Is it a airborne virus? Is it the one that's like in Walking Dead? I forget what the Resident Evil version of it was. That was chemical experiments and shit,
The
right?
V virus, that one it.
T-virus. Yeah, it was a
T-virus.
chemical.
Oh, the T virus. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a mutated, like chemically made one. I think in that world you turn into a zombie by eating one of them.
Yeah, you must do, because if I remember rightly in the game, if a zombie ate another zombie, or they mutated, and that's where the lickers came from, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
I think so. Anyway, they ingested DNA from another T virus sufferer, and then they become
like a mutation
mutated.
of that virus, and then it
Yeah.
mutated in themselves. And
And I think if you, I would assume, because it happens to a guy I don't know, it doesn't directly happen to a guy. He gets injected with it, so I don't know. But I don't think you'll mutate into a zombie. I think you'll mutate into another type of monster. Whether that be a zombie, I don't know.
A bit like the Nemesis.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the idea.
That's yeah.
But so you're telling me that you'd eat zombie flesh?
If it push comes to shove, yeah.
I'd rather eat the dogs.
I'll do that
Yeah,
as
you
well.
can.
But like once you kill the dogs, you're gonna think, right, what's next to eat? Fuck it, zombie.
Almighty, mate. I love the way the first thing you're thinking about is that long-term food supply.
It's what you got to think. If you're hiding like for a good while,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you've
Well,
got to
mate, see
think,
what
how
you
am
do.
I
You
going to
gotta
get
find.
food?
Yeah, you gotta find the kitchen, lock that up, and then clear each room for room.
But where
As you
was the
go.
kitchen? Can you
I
remember the
don't-
kitchen in that game?
I remember the dining room. I kind of remember there was Oh, was it that, or am I picturing where you ran through, like the basement where they had all the, like tube, like all the fucking fish tanks and stuff like that.
Oh, that was in the the laboratories and stuff, wasn't it?
It's
I
a
don't think
Find
large
your way
room in the
downstairs.
Spencer Mansion. It is fully stocked and used to prepare meals for employees, but it doesn't say whereabouts it is.
Yeah, I don't remember going into a kitchen in that game. I mean, I've played the original one on PlayStation 1 and I've played the Xbox 360 version, but I really can't remember the kitchen. What a job, though. That'd be a hard job for any chef. Can you imagine how many employees the Umbrella Corporation had in that building just to keep the top of the main building stocked up with food and also producing that many dishes out of a small kitchen in a mansion would have been a hard job. So they must have had some serious catering. What a random! Can you imagine the catering job in that place? That'd be some. You'd be set up for life, wouldn't you? They'd
Right,
never let you go. You could just cook anything, and it
I've
wouldn't
put a
matter.
picture in our Discord
Discord.
chat.
Okay,
It says
so
Mansion B1. I think it might be basement.
basement 1.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the kitchen.
you do run past that, don't you? I don't know whether I can get that up on the screen. I might be able. Let me just show whoever's watching quickly. Display capture. If I do that, if anyone recognizes where that is, I think that looks like it's going towards the outside. No, man.
It
That
couldn't be because it'd be the basement. That's where you climb down. The little black center right in the red, the little black one. It looks, is that like a ladder where you would climb down into the basement laboratory?
I know where that is, but that's a tiny kitchen. There's no way that's a corporate kitchen. No way. That's like an old like a Victorian kitchen. So that would have been like the original kitchen from the original mansion. There'd be a bigger kitchen. I can 100% tell you that. That might be a secondary kitchen, say for example doing side dressings or something like that. But that is not your corporate kitchen. I know a corporate kitchen. I mean, you think about it. You've got at least. Why am I going into this? But I'm going to go into it anyway. In a facility that big, you'd probably have at least 2,000 people working in there. I don't know. It was massive, wasn't it? I mean, you think you've got security levels, you've got military personnel, you've got officers, you've got scientists. You're probably talking, let's say, at least 1,000 people working in that place. Now, to feed 1,000 people on a day-to-day basis, 3 stable meals, you would need a proper army kitchen. I think Zeus is telling me, shut the fuck up, mate. But okay, let's go back to what we're talking about. So you'd find a kitchen. There's definitely one somewhere. There's at least one with some food in it. So you just make sure your supply is done. But where would you hide out? What would you do? Because obviously weaponry is out of the question. It's all going to have been picked up already.
There'll be something there. Like you could break like a chair or something, couldn't you? Or a table and just use the leg.
Kitchen gloves.
I suppose so. But then how would you?
You can make it. You can make use a tube, make a projectile with like some sort of aerosol can and a lighter.
You could. Yeah, like a mini flamethrower type of thing.
Well, no, like a potato gun, but put something sharp inside it.
Like in Lucifer when you blast the metal poles at people and it goes through their heads. That'd be cool.
You can make like a javelin thing, like where you like take like a pipe or like a silverware. I guess you could use like butter knives, and you put it into like a PVC pipe tube with a hole at the bottom of it. Spray some sort of like kitchen cleaner, and then light it. And that will launch the fucking thing right up through the zombie's face.
So where would you shit?
Like anywhere. don't matter. The whole place is going to smell like dead bodies anyway. Just take a dump anywhere.
So this is what I would do. I'd keep my shit in one little pile and then use the shit as a weapon.
So okay, Almighty, right? So you're gonna fashion a weapon, a zombie killing weapon out of your own feces.
Yeah, why not? You're stuck in a
Good,
mansion.
Gordon Ramsay's restaurants ain't got nothing on an Umbrella Corp kitchen. No way. That thing would be phenomenal. That thing would at least be like, I don't know, 200 yards long. It's fully stocked, man. That'd be a big old kitchen. Anyway, so let's go back to the weapon fashion.
They all order out each day.
So are we talking like a biological weapon, or are we talking like a bludgeoning weapon?
Well, you could do
So you
both,
could
couldn't you?
bludgeon
Because you'd
them
have
with
enough
it.
shit, wouldn't you, in the end? Like your hard shit would be like your biological weapon, like your stabbing weapon, and then you could with the shit you just have, you could use like flinging it at them or something.
Actually,
I just imagine Almighty stood there with a little spoon, flicking his own shit at something.
Actually, okay, here, just think of it like this. You could do that if you use put it in a container or something under where there's no way out of it.
Oh.
The methane gas being released from that's highly flammable. If you found a way you could actually trap the gas from that into a certain way, you could create a flamethrower.
You could
Yeah,
like for example the pig shit in Mad Max that worked, didn't it? Flammable thing. Umbrella Corp's drive-through, million making right there. Well, you think about it, you get a sandwich van, you pull it right up in the front of that mansion, you open that side of that sandwich van, mate. It's money on demand there, man. That you'd be making some serious cash out of that. Okay. So you're going to make methane from your own feces. Now, usually that would take quite some time to kind of make that kind of amount of methane to make a sustainable flame.
Well, you wouldn't want a sustainable one. What you'd want is you'd want to be like a panic button type thing where you'd take an electrical wire. Well, probably if you think of that, it's a kitchen. So you're going to assume that there's something like a push to start type of like spark thing that you can use. Put it in front of like a contraption outside the door. So if zombies are trying to get into your door, you push the button and it'll spark.
So you're gonna make a landmine out of the gas that comes off your shit.
Well, you have to store it somewhere. Like you have to store it somewhere. Like you can't just keep it in like your pocket.
No, of course not. That'd be disgusting for a start, wouldn't it? Shit pocket full of shit.
Just to take a shit in your pocket.
Yeah. So you have a hole in the ground. You have a hole in the ground, like right in the corner. Okay. And then you build like a little tube thing that can catch it. That's like sealed off, like air sealed off, and have like piping that goes up to like point right out the front door. And then it's all sealed off. And when the zombies are trying to get in there, there's going to be gas in there. You just fucking push your little button, and it'll cause a little spark, and like spark plugs from a car.
Fill a super soaker with your own diarrhea. I don't think you'd have enough time.
Well, you figure if you're going to be there for days, that you're going to have to worry about where your shit goes. You're going to have enough time. I mean.
Okay, so your only form of defense is going to be the gas that comes off your rotting feces.
And kitchen knives.
And kitchen knives, obviously. Okay. But what about trying to get some kind of communication, some kind of link to the outside world, or some kind of escape plan? Would you have one, or would you just hold up?
Well, you find as big a wire as you could, like metal wire, and then hook. Okay, well, you'd have to have electricity, obviously. You'd have to connect the wires to it and create a electrical
Are we talking 9-volt battery, or would you have to go a bit bigger?
Maybe 9-volt. You'd have to have like capacitors to build it. No, it wouldn't. 9-volt wouldn't fucking work.
What kind of power would you need to light the gas up your own feces? It's not something I've come across.
Oh, I was thinking about making a radio Morse code transmitter.
Okay, I got you now. I understand. This is communication.
Here's my thinking, guys. Right, that place will have to have smoke alarms, which are connected. Well, in England, they're connected to the fire department. So you set fire to one of the rooms, right?
Yeah.
And the fire, the the thingy will alert the
The
fire
Umbrella Corp had
department,
their own.
and then
Had
they'll
their
come
own
and
fire.
save you. Boom! I've just
Yeah,
sold
they had
Resident
their own.
Evil in a couple of
That would be
sentences.
a good idea. Getting the
That's
fire
good.
brigade to come and save you. I don't think
Yeah,
that works like that in the US though.
Well, it does work in the U.S., but the thing is, the Umbrella Corporation had their own internal fire department. They were,
That's true.
remember, it was a major lab doing biological weapon and
Yeah.
shit. They're not going to have any connection to the actual government. So you're pretty much on your own as far as that
So
goes.
it's basically it's either get the gas off your rotting feces or you're fucked. That's what we're saying here. That's okay. I mean, I can go along with that. I can 100%
I would
go
have come
along
up
with
with a
that.
different plan. I was just kind of building off of his idea of having to
Yeah.
do something with it.
No, I
So,
just love
yeah,
the way that you know how that works. I mean, but then again, I've heard of people's septic tanks exploding.
Yeah,
Can you imagine
and I
how
was
much
thinking,
that's? Can you imagine
guys-
just popping outside in the garden, having a bit of a stretch, looking at the sun going down, and all of a sudden your septic tank explodes in front of you?
well, if you look up the water in Flint, Michigan, the water taps, the actual piping from the actual tap water was flammable. Like you can literally hold a lighter in front of your tap, and it would catch fire. That's kind of like
Fuck
what
me,
I
man. Can you imagine taking a piss and having a fag at the same time? You
Yes, it was. But that was from the methane gas that was building up in the water sewage replacement center and shit like that. So if you do something like that at a higher concentration, and then the idea with the button pushing thing, hot water heaters.
Right, okay.
highway lights and stuff
So a
like that.
standard. I used to smoke. I used to smoke and sit on the shitter. I'll be honest with you. That's disgusting, I know, but I did do it.
That's how
But
I
if you was,
smoke. Like,
yeah, if you
you
sat
can't-
on, if it's,
can't
sorry,
be having a nice shit while you're having a fag because
yeah,
you can time when you push. Like,
yeah.
breathe in, push.
Oh, there you go. But
Yeah.
when you finished that fag and you were still taking a dump, where did you put your fag? I
I'll
always
open my
pick the
legs,
ball
move my
sacks up.
balls.
Yeah, and push it. Yeah. Can you imagine if that had gone off? You're having like a blast of full fire into your butt cheeks.
Yep.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. That is, my friend. You
But
want to
yeah,
get
well,
into that
actually, yeah,
Michigan, and you want to say you want to get down there and you want to sort those pipes out, man.
The governor got charged.
I
think.
mean, it's better than a hamster going up your ass.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It is.
definitely. Well,
But
that's
can
the
you
thing.
imagine going to court
Nothing.
saying, Your Honor, I have singed my testicles due to the water supply?
A guy sued his landlord because the water from his shower burned his testicles one time. And it's wondered, like, how do you test your water that way? You have other means in which you can reach over and be like, oh.
So you're
I
telling
don't
me
put
this
your
guy
hand
wanted
in
to test how hot his water is. So instead of putting his hand underneath it, he laid his testicles on his hand and placed them under a hot faucet.
Apparently, I don't know.
Unless he's got a massive dick and a massive set of balls, and he just like his dick and balls went in first.
Oh, go! I'm crying. I'm crying. The methane security device at the door, zombie mate. You should write this shit down. You ever did that zombie survival guide? You should do one.
I've read it.
I've read that too.
But see, the thing is, like, I take ideas that from stories I've seen around the world, and if you can launch a gerbil out of your ass, why couldn't you launch anything else in the zombie apocalypse? What the fuck?
Learn to dribble out your ass. That's a new one to me.
Well, no, remember the whole Armageddon? No, not Bruce Willis. The one with the guy who went to the hospital after lighting his boyfriend's butt on fire and it got hit in the face with Ragged the gerbil.
Oh, okay. I don't remember his ass dribbling, but I understand where you're coming from. So I think mine's going to be all straight edge now. Mine's going to be really straight edge. Okay, so there's no feces in mine.
Oh, okay, I'm out.
I'm sorry, mate. I'm just thinking of practical reasons. So you've got a set of stairs. You've got a lot of wood in that building, yeah? You could easily bolt up most of them doors in that place with the wood that you can break off the side, yeah? So you can easily wedge the doors shut on all the levels. Now, in that position, you've got two corners on both sides, yeah? Now, if you sleep in one of those top end corners, on the top balcony, You've got full vision of everything around you, and you've also got 2 escapes because there was windows at the bottom of that corridor. So you can go out the window if you need to, or you can also go through the doors. Now, what I would do is I would set up camp in the main hall, and then every day go scouting to each room and try and pick up as much stuff as I could. Food, you'd be okay for at least for 10 days. Water would be the issue. But if I remember correctly, it was raining. So if you're next to the window, you can always collect water in buckets. Now you've got 10 days to scout the whole place out and get food back to your main base in the hallway there. That's what I would do. And then obviously, as you're scouting out, you could probably hope to find radios, find equipment, build something from them. And if I remember rightly, in the original Resident Evil, just on that balcony there was Forrest. Forrest had been shot and it was eaten by the crows. Now, Jill had gone through, or Chris Redfield had gone through and killed all those crows there to get the fire rounds from Forrest's dead body. He had a radio on him. So I would try and get that radio first and see if that was working. No shit. No, none of that. Just a straightforward barricade myself in, make sure I got a water supply, and then try and get a radio. That's what I would do. Very boring in comparison. If you want to talk about shit, I would probably get some kind of bucket and collect my shit, but only for sanitary reasons. Nothing for anything. No other reasons at all.
But like, it'd be good thing to do is as you clear out the rooms, like you have your central room, clear one out next to it, and then move your barricades in a way so you can create a buffer zone between you and the outside zombies and shit like that.
Yeah, because if you remember rightly, those stair rails were all wood. Now, those wood could definitely be fashioned into spikes at least, so you could build some kind of barricade around you. And you could definitely either wedge the doors shut with like ballasts up against the door. I think that's what they're called. And just make sure it's as safe as possible. But then you've got time to scout. And if you scout, then you can pull stuff in. So it's really like playing Rust, but in the Resident Evil world.
And if those birds weren't like the zombie birds, you could shoot those and eat them. The crows.
Exactly. You got food there.
And if I asked about if you eat a zombie, would you change into it? Like, would you change into a zombie?
But if I remember rightly, there was a picture in the guide for Resident Evil, and there was a zombie bird. Whether those particular birds were zombies, I'm not too sure. But I remember seeing a zombie bird in the manual that came with Resident Evil, the first one.
I think it became zombies from eating zombie flesh, like a
dead
flesh.
Makes sense.
The other kind of thing, even if you don't turn into a zombie, the flesh is rotten and bad for you, so you end up killing you, and then you turn into a zombie.
I mean, you definitely could die of dysentery. I mean, dehydration would be your first worry. But I mean, it wouldn't be very nice eating rotten flesh. That's
you wouldn't have to worry about rainy so much.
Unless you play Minecraft,
you can
get away with
build, like with the things there, you can build a water collection device by getting like a tarp or any type of like material like that. You get 4 sticks, so that way it's like kind of like a what am I describing as like kind of like a hammock, and put a rock or something heavy on top of it. Take leaves, take leaves and stuff like that, or whatever, like moist grass and stuff like that from the ground outside, or the trees, even if it's not raining. And you put it underneath it.
You've got access to the roof out now. If I'm thinking it's a mansion like that, you've got 2 gutterings running down each side of that front of the house. Now it may be lead, so you can always burrow a hole in that. Now you've got a mansion-sized roof. Now every square foot could be easily pumping down a litre of water. Easy. Now you've probably got about maybe 2,000 square feet of roof in there. Now there's a lot of water going down that piping, so you can easily pump off that.
I was thinking like even if you got there in a day it wasn't raining.
It's kind of there's like an element of sarcasm with what I'm saying. It's not really sarcasm. It's more of a like, yeah, man, I could do that. I could survive that shit, no problem. That'd be easy. Worst thing you have to worry about is the nemesis. The nemesis would definitely kick my ass. But the zombies are pretty simple. I mean, Jill took a few of those out. Even Chris did. And he's a right dopey gear. He is in the games. So I reckon I could take zombie out. To be honest with you, I think it would be quite fun. It'd be like camping, you know. Goodness.
If you think about it, they're like those zombies in that one. In that one, they're all like running. There's like only like vertical up and down, left and right. I mean, I can aim in three dimensions. So
even I could. I think, and I've shot a shotgun, but that's all I've ever shot. And that's got a big spread on it.
I'll be better at melee.
Would you? You go in there, wheeling your bag of shit. Don't worry, Almighty's got him. Here he comes with his carrier bag
Shit,
from
just
Tesco's.
swinging.
For some reason, it's hard as a rock.
Just stand back. The bag might break. It's not a strong gun.
That nemesis
Oh,
isn't
could you
coming nowhere
imagine?
near me.
Can you imagine being behind him as he's swinging it? Even before he throws it, it snaps. It sprays everybody behind him.
Oh dear
But hey,
me.
if you take your shit and you take the leaves and the grass from outside and you pack them together, you can make clay and you can pottery.
You could.
I don't know why the
You-
fuck
you
I brought that up.
But would you want to drink a cup of coffee from it? That's the question.
No.
Do anything with your shit if you really wanted to, but I don't think I want to eat from it.
But you can make weapons out of it.
That's maybe.
Use it to actually make like a shield to make like take a blade, or a piece of glass, and like
But
use it as like a.
You've got wood in the main hallway, and you've got glass. You've also got metal. There's a bloody typewriter in there. Pick a typewriter, probably smack a zombie over the head. He's dead, isn't he? Definitely, no question. You got jars, so you wouldn't need to do that. You've even got carpet for keeping yourself warm.
Yeah, if you
that
think about like the
hallway-
actual game, like if that game happened in real life, we could just walk up to the zombies and grab them. They were like so slow. They were so
Exactly.
dumb, and then even the tyrants at the end of it only ran in 2 dimensions.
Yeah, and I think the worst two would be the tyrant and the dogs. I can't remember what the dogs were called. The hunter was relatively easy. That also worked in 2 dimensions, and it had slow parts in it. It lunged like every 4 steps, I think it was, if I remember correctly. So as long as you got the pattern right, you'd be fine.
I remember the last one. We didn't finish it, but we learned how all you had to do is like make it run at you and jump out of the way, and then eventually they threw you a grenade launcher, which I don't know why the fuck it took us so long to throw it to you in the first place, but
That was the nemesis. Is it the first battle of the nemesis?
that was the tyrant. That was actually the very end
Oh,
game.
the tyrant. Sorry, yeah.
When you finish that, it's when you won the game.
They chuck you out. But with Chris's campaign, I don't think you get that. That's only with Jill's campaign. I think you get the rocket launcher. Basically, someone throws it out of a helicopter for you. But yeah, I think Chris's, you just got the Magnum, and you pick the Magnum up from the first battle with the tyrant. If I remember correctly, I'm not too sure.
And if you don't have it from the first one, you don't have it at the end, and you can't fucking beat it.
Yeah. It's like also when you were with Jill, if you went straight to the shotgun room with the ceiling that comes down, and you grab the shotgun, Barry comes and saves you. And that's when he goes, "Oh, you could have been a Jill sandwich." That's that part, and it's a kind of lighter version of the game, which was kind of sexist as well. But they still continued that up until recently, didn't they? The whole idea that the woman's campaign was worse than the man's.
The female characters always carry less.
Yeah.
She only had like 5 slides, and then he had more because he could carry more stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose that's a bit sexist. I don't know. I suppose they have to have some way to split it up. I think it would be better if they just split it up on the different characters, because a lot of men like playing female characters. I prefer playing a female character.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
Look at the boobs in the mirror.
Yeah, that's probably what it is mostly. I just feel that they move quicker. That's what I do, Mighty. Okay, so the Fallout world. Which game particularly? Because there is some differences, obviously, with enemies from, say, for example, all of them really, because they're in different areas. So, shall we stick to a particular one?
Yeah, we'll stick to a particular game.
I've only played Fallout 4, but I need to close my eyes for a second. My head is pounding me right now.
Yeah, sure, mate. No worries.
Yourself.
If we go Fallout 4, because all of us know that game pretty well.
Yeah.
We'll go Fallout 4. I was thinking Fallout 1, simply based on the story, because obviously it's a guy that gets kicked out looking for a water chip.
Yeah.
And he's got 150 days to look for the water chip. And if he doesn't get it in them days, he's
not allowed back in.
Yeah, he's not allowed back in. And everyone in the vault dies.
Yep.
Pretty much.
I think 4 is probably the best because zombies also, he's only ever played that one.
Yeah.
And number 1 has got a lot of mixture of characters that don't appear in the other ones.
Yeah. like
So I
the
think
Doctor Who time box.
yeah, and also actually they do the super mutants, the clever super mutants. They appear in Fallout
2, maybe 3.
3. No, New. Yeah,
Was
I
it
can't
New
remember which
Vegas?
one of those two. I remember the purple ones, the ones that in the scientific place, and they've got the ability to use the stealth.
Night Kings.
Yes, that's the ones. That's the one I'm thinking of. They were mentioned, or they appeared in one, but it doesn't matter. Let's do 4.
Yeah, we'll do 4. Because
Well, I'll go
everyone knows
first
that
because
game. Go on.
mine seems the most simplest, so I'll just stick to mine. What I would do is I would. What point are we going to start from though? Because if you start from day one, as in the point that you walk, the point that you walk out of the vault,
I
or
think it would be easier walking from the vault, or we could. Yeah, I'll say walking from the vault.
well, if you're walking from the vault, then you just go straight to sanctuary. You'd kick yourself up, and you'd probably stay in sanctuary. You'd build a survival camp around Star until you've got a group of people. But I wouldn't really go out of sanctuary
You
because you've
wouldn't
got
want to.
everything. No, you wouldn't want to because the thing about sanctuary is like this enclosed area. It's got split up by water. So you can see for quite a distance around. So if you build yourself a nice little encampment, get some food growing up, get your water supply. I mean, you've got a radiated water supply, so you could have a little go at drinking that. But in the theory, within the game, you can produce for water supplies. So you just do that, a non-radiated water supply, and then obviously produce some kind of army, like a raider army, and then start raiding the rest of it.
Yeah.
But if it was later on in the game and I'd worked out all the factions and I knew who they were, I would definitely go with the Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Because the
Institute seem
Institute
like
have got,
the better idea, don't they?
well, the idea is obviously to put the Earth back to where the way it was, and obviously their little sanctuary under the ground is perfect, isn't it? They've got food, they've got water. The only thing is the Institute weapons are a lot less powerful than the other. Like for example, the Brotherhood of Steel, their weapons are much more powerful. But it depends what kind of. I mean, if you're going for mod law, they do have the T-45 armor as well because they stole it from who are those guys called? The ones who had the prime minister, not prime minister, the ones who had the in New Vegas, there was a section starts with E.
Enclave.
Enclave. They stole it. They stole the power armors from the Enclave, so they do have power armor. So they've got very good technology, and they've also got the power armor. Just their weaponry is not good. But I go with them guys. There's
Yeah,
me.
I'll be the same. Like early in the game, I would probably attempt to save Preston, but then realise he's annoying as fuck, and then just leave him.
I wouldn't. I think they're already dead. If the lone survivor doesn't turn up, they're dead.
I think you're right, but like obviously in game, he's like yes man in New Vegas, so he
Yeah.
can't die.
Oh no, he can't die. But I mean, in like if it, they'd just be sat there, wouldn't they? And just nothing would really happen. But yeah, I mean the Minutemen. The idea later on, it's when the army starts building up in the Minutemen. I never really understand where they all come from. I mean, I know you've got encampments everywhere, but the thing is, when you get to an old encampment, it's always empty,
Yeah, you have to
or
put
it's full of a gang already.
you have to put the thing in there, don't you, to attract people to join the Minutemen in the first place. Like
Yeah, understand where they come from because you never see wanderers. You see the occasional person, but they're always going somewhere. So
yeah,
they're always saying, "Okay, I'm off to Diamond City or I'm off to Sanctuary or whatever." They always know where they're going, but there's not like groups of, like for example, in Mad Max, you see wanderers going through the desert.
yeah,
So those
always
people are
going
obviously,
somewhere.
yeah, they're kind of just wandering aimlessly. So they haven't really got anywhere to go. But in Fallout, you don't really. I don't think anyway. I've never seen it.
Yeah, mods where they have that sort of thing.
Yeah, they're doing it with the mods, but obviously your base game's different. So how would you survive zombie?
I wouldn't. I'd end up dead within the first 5 minutes, probably. I'd come out, but I got a headache, and then I'd look and see zombies and all those feral ghouls, and be like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Yeah, but can you imagine waking up in the future and then realizing there's massive cockroaches after you? I think that would put you in shock already, wouldn't it? Really,
Yeah, it would. Yeah,
you'd
you'd
never
shit your
kind of.
pants.
Yeah, you would. I mean, a cockroach is fucking ugly. I'd rather get
Yeah.
attacked by a zombie, to be honest with you. At least that's a form that you understand. It's a human being that's gone a bit mental. I can deal with that. But a massive cockroach, I don't know whether I'd like that.
What would you shit your pants worse at? A death claw, a rad scorpion, or a rad roach?
Probably the
Um,
Death Claw. But I literally think it was Armageddon. They look like fucking demons.
Yeah, that's a hard one because that bloody big scorpion's pretty fucking scary. Um, I think I'd have to go Deathclaw. It's like a massive lizard jumping at you.
What
But
actually is it? Like, what animal is it supposed to be?
it says it's a mutated one of those it's a lizard, a chameleon. It's something to do with a chameleon DNA or something like that. It's mutated from, but it doesn't go into much detail on it.
Hmm. That puts in my head. I think it's, if I'm right, didn't the army make them or something and put a lizard DNA in them?
Possibly because in Fallout 3, the Enclave are controlling them with mind control devices. Is it the Enclave? Yeah, the Enclave, and you have to go and that's where you can get a pet in Fallout. I think it's Fallout 3. Fallout 3 that is a Deathclaw, and he has to have this thing on his head that you're controlling.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a mission. I can't remember exactly what mission it is, but he basically it's on the way to taking down the Enclave.
That must be towards the end of the game, man.
Yeah, it's not far from the end of the game. And you have to go into. They've got basically these like radar stations that are controlling the Deathclaws around, and you have to go in there and block their signal, I think. And then you take control of a Deathclaw inside the camp, and it tears them apart. It's quite a cool mission, actually. But you can get a pet from that one. I've never got it myself, but you can get it.
Oh, I might have to try that. Favorite place in that in Fallout 3 has got to be the is it the country of Dave?
Dave, is that the is
Dave's
that
not here, man.
is that the I'm not sure. Is that the one with the tree?
No, if you when you first go into the place, it's just everyone saluting this guy Dave, and the mission. What you can do is you can get
Yeah.
Dave kicked out of the actual thing by taking one of the ballots out, so it votes for someone else and puts someone else in charge.
Shit, I don't think I've ever done that one. I need to look for that one because I know the vault that has like loads and loads of the same clones of the same person. All they do is shout a name.
Gary, I think.
Is it Gary?
I think
I've
it's
never
Gary.
done the Dave one. I'd like to do the Dave one though. Now I know it's there. Dave. Why do they always choose random names like that?
Dave's Republic. Republic
Dave's
of
Republic.
Dave.
I'm just gonna Google that as well.
Dave's not here, man.
The
Man,
Republic of Dave is a small farming micronation settlement in the far northeastern corner of the capital wasteland that is considered by its close-knit inhabitants to be a Soviet nation state in 2277.
It's got its own flag.
Yeah, it's its own little nation.
Wow, the Republic of Dave. Yeah, I wonder if that's like in homage to that. Wasn't there a guy in America that found out his house wasn't on the map, so he turned it into his own little republic? Or am I thinking of Family Guy?
I know
Family
Family
Guy.
Guy did that,
Ah,
but I think they got that from some sort of story where that happened. But like the guy went to his local like borough or whatever, and it wasn't on there. But that got like fixed right away.
yeah, I think he tried it on for a little while, didn't he? Eh?
I don't know how much it went, but I don't know how closely it was to that. But
So,
no idea.
so are you saying that you'd go to the Republic of Dave?
I'd go to the Republic of Dave and make it the nation of Nick,
The nation of Nick.
and we'll rule the world one death claw at a time.
That could be the Zealot of Zom.
See, the thing that I always found with Fallout 3, none of the clans like the Brotherhood of Steel, they're not very appealing.
No. They're not.
It's like in Fallout 4, you've got like different things that appeal you to it. Like for example, with the Minutemen, there's the building of camps and all that kind of building structure and stuff.
And
And
Preston. You can't forget about Preston.
oh, Preston, I mean, he's a
Oh, and
I
the
just
general's uniform.
yeah. When you get the gen, that's cool. That is. I like that mission. You have to kill that big robot that wants to destroy you underneath. I like that. I like that.
Oh, the sergeant bot or whatever it's called.
Yeah, you have to kill that, then you can get through. You have to do the code on the door, and then you get the general. He's locked himself in, and you get loads of bottles of wine. I also liked I like building the settlement, so I built you build like the castle. You build the castle, don't you? It's a pretty cool
You
settlement.
can rebuild it, like build up all the broken walls and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. I like that. So that's how you'd survive then. And zombie, you all right how would you survive, zombie? You just die.
Yeah, it depends. I don't know, like, because again, I figured I only played number 4, so in that one, I'd just go straight to like looking around, try to figure out the sanctuary.
Yeah.
Try to find my old house and just kind of lock down there, and then just kind of explore as I went, try to find out what's going on.
I suppose it's kind of similar though to Resident Evil in a sense, just on a larger scale.
Probably.
Apart from I wouldn't make weapons out of shit.
No, that's probably not a good idea. You could always make weapons out of the cow shit. Did you ever throw cow shit when you were young?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, everyone did, didn't they? That's not a weird thing, all right? That's not a weird thing. But when a cowpat dries, it goes like a frisbee, and you can throw them fuckers far. You can also skim them across water.
Yeah, you can. They're like little skimming stones, aren't they?
Well, big fucking skimming
stones.
The worst thing was when you went to pick one up and it was still wet underneath.
Chasing your friend. Like, yeah, let me wipe this on you.
No one ever messaged me when you got shit on a stick. No one ever messaged you then. That was the way to get through it. So what other games did you want to survive then, Almighty?
Oh, I had quite a few. Like, there was films as well, like you had in my head as well. But I can't remember. Shaun of the Dead, obviously, we covered zombies, so we can't no point talking about zombies.
What about the cube?
The what?
How would you survive the cube?
Cube? Is that a film?
How about the Purge?
Yeah. The Purge. Yeah, but that wouldn't work over here. You probably get all you get is old grannies in the street with handbags hitting kids over here. Maybe stabbing one with their knitting needles. Because the Purge it can only be an American thing. There's no way. There's no way it'd happen over here. Well, it might do, but you get a few people beaten to death in town. But that's a normal Saturday night. And a couple of old grannies hitting kids over the head because they've been hanging around outside their house for too long.
Well, no, you have people from like the U.S. going over there on vacation. It's hunting season.
Well, yeah, might do. We see we don't have the gun culture, you see, so it doesn't gonna come across to this side that well. I suppose it would do, but just without guns. That'd be worse. Can you imagine that? The Purge without guns.
Yeah.
Knife fights in the street. At each other.
I'm going to hit you with a very warm cup of tea.
This is a soggy tea bag, have it?
I'll take you down with this digestive biscuit.
It's hobnobs.
Oh, they're hard, them are, especially if you chuck them hard enough. I don't know. I just don't think it's I think we're too. This is probably going on to like not a political statement, but like more of a regional difference. Because we're so kind of closely knit together, we still have that link to each other. Like a state, like an estate in the UK is very close. So you know your neighbours quite well.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, in the UK, there's more of a camaraderie, I'd say. I mean, you can go to your next door neighbour and you can ask them for whatever. Some of them I hate, but the other ones, some of them I do like. And also, whether we like it or not, we stick to where we know in the UK. We stay to where we know. I mean, like for example, I've been away, I've travelled around, but when I came back home, my mom lives.
You know what's fucking hilarious? Hold on a second. while you guys are sitting here talking about like the purge and shit like that, there's actually a fight going on right outside my window. Let's see if I can open up. I was trying to open my window.
Okay, we're gonna. I don't think you can put fights on there. Oh, that
Oh,
would
no,
be
you-
nasty. Beaten to
Yeah.
death with a custard cream. I think I mean, if they made a Purge UK version, it would go either way. It could go mental, or it could just be like, I don't particularly like you. Give them a slap around the face. You know what I mean?
Let
It
us
would
go out for a
depend.
duel.
It would depend very much where you are. If you were like in South London for something like Chobham or something like that, it would be fencing on the front lawn kind of thing. Like in Birmingham, it'd be like a riot. Central London,
Up
they'd probably
here
have
where I am,
probably having dinner in the street.
up here where I am, it definitely people will be getting stabbed and stuff.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
I think you would have differences, definitely different areas. But I don't know. There's like a there is more. I don't know whether it's just my feelings towards it, but there is more of a camaraderie, like in the States, in the UK. You've got your own little gangs.
In England, like man, like even the new neighbours that I've moved on my mum's block, like if when anyone needs anything, like they just knock on each other's door. Have you got some sugar? Have you got some milk?
Well, yeah, got some crack. You don't get that so much, but you would do in certain areas. Zeus is saying definitely in Bolton, people would be stabbing each other. I think there definitely would in some areas. But I got the feeling some people would just have an helicopter and go and watch it all. I bet they fucking would, or try and record it on their phone.
Oh, guaranteed. That's what it'll be like. People just stood there like, "Ooh."
You know, they used to do that during the Civil War.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Or record it on their phone.
No, they'd go out and actually watch the battles.
Well, yeah, they used to do that in the Civil War in the UK. It was like the battles were kind of announced. Obviously, that was a long time ago, but they were announced to say, okay, the battles will be at this time. Please refrain from going too close to the cannon fire. And it was kind of like that. It was just a set of battle. And I suppose it would be very similar then, not too long after. Because I live in Worcester, and Worcester's the last battle of the English Civil War. So we have a reenactment in the streets every year. We didn't have one last year. But they talk you through it and how it happened, and the people were hanging out the windows and stuff to watch the battles. Isn't that crazy? Can you imagine that? Imagine like I don't know, go like the British Army or the American Army go off to battle, and they take a load of people there to watch it. It doesn't really work, would it?
I can just imagine someone walking around with popcorn. Here's your popcorn, love.
Hot dogs.
It just made me think of that skit
Programs.
from Butt
Get
Scratcher.
your programs. Don't know the North from the South without a program. Can't tell who's a
Programs. Mortars will be fired at 1:35.
Don't forget your ticket.
Pay to get in, paid entry.
No
But I mean,
outside food or drink.
That's what warfare was like back then. It was more of a state. It was like it was like bullies at school, wasn't it? You go up to a guy, he said, I want to knock the shit out of you. You want to knock the shit out of me? Okay, we'll go and meet in the playground at 4:30 after school. And it was kind of more like that. It was just two people setting up a time to go for a battle. So I suppose that's probably why there was more people just viewing it. It's like the idea of like corporal punishment. People actually viewed it, and they still do in America, don't they? With the corporal punishment, there's actually viewing stages. I don't know whether I want to do that. I think if it was somebody that done something directly to me, I'd want to see that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know whether I would. I'm not sure about that statement, but you know what I'm saying there, don't you?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
That doll is freaking the shit out of me.
Wow, you've changed, zombie.
Huh?
Looking a bit pale, mate.
Yeah.
Your
Have you
eyeballs are
taken
like two
some?
piss holes in the snow.
I think it'll be fine. There's nothing to worry about.
Jesus Christ, man. If I was your wife, I'd be forcing you to sell that thing. That is the ugliest doll I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen Almighty Sex Doll. It was just terrible.
Well, I told you I keep popping it.
But how did she get a face burst? That's what I want to know. 69, lucky number, almighty. 69.
Well, that's how she got her face burst.
Oh dear me, you're not meant to smoke while you're doing it, you know that, don't you, mate? She'll definitely get out. You have to go down. If they still sell punch repair kits at Halfords, you have to.
I think so, yeah. I could just imagine myself walking into, those places that fixes balloons and stuff. Can you fix this for me, please?
She just won't stay up anymore. You just have a look at that for us, would you, mate? I have washed it. Don't worry.
It comes in the bath with me every night, and I come in it.
Jesus Christ! Oh dear me, dear me. So what are the games and movies were you talking about then? Almighty, what have we got to survive?
Have you seen what's it called? Escape Room.
No.
Do you know what an escape room is?
Yeah, I
Yeah, they
think.
have those around here.
It's pretty much like an escape room, but it's an escape room, but with short traps, pretty much.
So it's like a panic room, or am I just completely thinking of something else?
You're basically locked in a room and you have to find your way out.
Yeah.
They're kind of like Cube then. Kind of
Yeah,
like Cube.
Yeah, kind of like Cube, but
Okay.
like if you don't get out, you're dead.
Okay. How would you survive it?
I wouldn't. I'll
Are you
die.
with?
I wouldn't.
Are you with people?
Yeah.
How many people?
In the film, there's 5 people, I think, 5 or 6.
I'd pretend to be mute, make everyone else test all the traps out, and then go in last, because then at least you got a better idea of surviving.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you do.
I think Zeus is giving his respects to your doll. If that doll blinks, if that doll blinks, he's out. Yeah, if that doll blinks, I don't know what I'm going to do.
So,
But look at
since we've got the doll, Annabelle,
Annabelle. How would you survive Annabelle?
I'd fuck the doll.
Jesus Christ, man! At least you'd know she was loved then. Because I
Yeah.
think isn't that the idea of Annabelle? But Almighty, I think you've stepped a little bit too far there, mate. Because I think the spirit in the doll is a prepubescent girl.
I must be thinking of something else. Annabelle. Let me have a look. I want to double check.
Well, he didn't mean that. What he said there, it was just a joke.
How old is Annabelle doll? Right, here we go. Right, it doesn't say an age. How old is Annabelle? Okay, you're right. Yeah, I wouldn't fuck the doll. I'll take that back.
Oh, you're going to get us into trouble, Almighty, mate.
I'll try
You
not
do
to.
shit.
He was very confused about the age of Annabelle. The doll itself is actually very, very old. It was created by her father, and it represents obviously an older version.
Well, in the
And he
film
didn't
I've
realise
seen,
that.
I don't know what film it was, and like a woman dies in it, and she's quite old, and she bleeds on the doll. I don't know if this is the Annabelle doll itself, and then her soul goes into the doll.
The only thing I can think of like that is Chucky, when the guy gets shot and then he does the voodoo thing and goes into the doll. I maybe there are in other movies, but because if I remember rightly, in Annabelle, the dad makes the doll for the little girl, and then the little girl gets killed. I think she gets run over. So he does some kind of voodoo stuff to put. No, the spirit comes along and pretends to be his daughter. And then he allows the spirit, who he thinks is his daughter, to go into the doll. So actually, in actual fact, it wouldn't be a prepossessing girl. It would be a devil.
It's the 7-year-old girl.
But the actual spirit inside the doll that gets let into it isn't the little girl. It's a demon.
Yeah. I mean, he's
So
thinking it's her, but it's not.
yeah, he thinks so. So actually, I was wrong, but it was quite funny.
Still a pervert.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
still a
am.
bit- It's still a tad perverted, most definitely. But it's kind of acceptable. It's not as bad as the shit fetish thing going on in the hallway, or zombies' idea of making explosive gas from old excrement. Uh,
Gotta do something with it.
so how would you survive that situation with that doll?
um,
Who said he's surviving now?
do you know that
Horrible.
the doll is a demon or whatever, or are you just plain Jane, like know nothing about the doll, or do you know everything about the doll?
I think you'd be like somebody like someone at the same kind of level as like the dad or the daughter doesn't really know that there's something going wrong with this doll. It just weird shit starts happening.
I would probably cry myself to sleep every night and then just leave the doll in the house and then just disappear forever.
Doesn't it chase you though?
I'm not. I
Because
think it might. It
yeah,
might do, mightn't it?
the one girl tried to throw it away and she tried to move out and it appeared back at her door.
Oh, then I'd probably be fucked.
How do they get rid of it in the movie?
I'll eat your heart.
I wish my air rifle was working right now. I'd be hanging out of my living room window, shooting the neighbours over the road, blasting fucking music. I don't blame you, mate.
Don't be
Hey, what
starting a
time is it?
pursuit.
It's 11 o'clock. Jesus Christ, man.
Carrot.
I thought he had a headache.
I'm coming to get you. I'm gonna get you.
Can't you go over there and ask him nicely? Send him over there. He'll sort him out.
Yeah, I'll send a doll.
Yeah, send the doll over, mate. Send him over. Send me on my way. Send me on
I'll
my
take
way.
care of it. Don't worry, I'll go out there and I'll eat their hearts.
I think, I think Zombie has the same issue, but they think it's big muscle cars outside of his doors. But it's
That's only
obviously-
once a month.
oh, it's only once a month. Okay. But I don't know, man. It's not right. You can actually call the coppers. If it's after 10 o'clock, you can call the police for public disturbance. Whether the coppers will do anything is another matter completely. But
They come over and they say your neighbors got pissed.
this guy is a right weird. Are we talking about the guy blasting music or Zombie?
Both.
It's only because he's brought his little dolly with him.
We're talking about horror movies.
So that's true. We are talking about horror movies, but we haven't even said how we'd survive. So Almighty, you say you're basically fucked, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, when it comes to Annabelle, I do what I'm doing now. I would pretend it's my friend, and I'd bring it everywhere, and then
I think that's the only way you would survive it, wouldn't it? Because she only starts going against you. No, she wants to get a human body. So if you
Yeah.
become friendly with it, it might take over your body.
Well, no, I'll just kill a hooker.
Jesus fucking
You
Christ.
can't kill a hooker. You've got to like just give the doll to the hooker.
Well, she wouldn't see it coming then. She'd be like, oh, she's giving me a doll.
Oh, that just puts some pervert in my mind.
I'll pay you in dolls.
You're going to play pair in dolls. So you're going to give a lady of the night, a sex
STD.
worker, a doll,
And then STD.
in exchange for nothing. You wouldn't have to give anything, would you? You just say,
No,
here's a
I'd be
doll.
like, here. I
Have
have a
this.
fetish. I like giving hookers dolls.
Yeah,
That's my fetish.
so that would
Inside the
actually
doll is
work.
the money.
That might actually work. Because she doesn't Annabelle imprint on a certain person.
Yeah.
So maybe it wouldn't work then.
I want to find out what that film
Or
was.
give it to a nun. I don't know.
Give it to a nun. How many nuns do you know?
3.
You know 3 nuns. Would any of them accept a dolly?
Not for me.
Hello, sister. Would you care for this doll that looks like it's been run over by a car? 52, Almighty. 52. Let's have a joke. Let's break
This-
the weird atmosphere with a joke.
Yeah.
Because it's getting dark right now. It's getting dark. And I'm not
It is.
talking about outside. What's my joke for this evening? Why would the shrimp share his treasure? Because he's a little selfish. That was crap. but it was amusing in the same time. How I would survive Annabelle, I don't know. I mean, you could do the same as Chucky, destroy the doll completely, but then even that didn't bring back Chucky. That didn't destroy Chucky. Chucky still came back, didn't it? So if Annabelle is similar to Chucky, you could destroy it for a certain amount of time by completely and utterly obliterating the doll. So
Or
I,
you could do. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
all right,
I was gonna say you could just sell them to Disney and they fucking obliterate the whole thing.
that's true. Sell it to Disney. That'd be
Sorry.
a good way to get over with it. So that's your idea, Zombie. You'd sell it to Disney and then they just screw it up anyway.
Yeah, they just kill the whole franchise.
Perfect. I like that. Anything else, Almighty? What we got to survive next? The
Should we
toilet
go?
after I've been in it.
You what?
Survive the toilet after I've been in it.
How long can you survive?
Well, other survival kind of horror movies. I mean, if you think about it, like anything pre 1991, so actually further than that, maybe up until the Scream era, so like the mid 1990s, it was quite easy to survive a horror movie. You just don't run upstairs.
Jason, or Friday the 13th, or Freddy.
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy
Freddy-
Krueger is a damn good baddie. He's a good like evil guy because the idea is that you can attack anybody at any point as long as they believe in him. But that's the same as like Candyman. Obviously, the Candyman stays around because of the power of belief in the area. But it's a cool idea, and they definitely could have done more with that. To survive that, you're fucked, really, aren't you? Because you've got to believe in him, whether you like
You have
it
to
or
be
not.
asleep.
Yeah, but you've always got to go to sleep. So the only true way to kind of survive that, but then surely if you subconsciously realize that if he's not actually real, he's just a figment of your imagination with powers.
But
You could,
doesn't he bring? If you grab him, you can bring him from the dream world, can't you?
Yeah.
Wake up.
yeah,
Because he was real. He was the janitor who was touching little kids.
yeah, but that's in the remake. He wasn't originally that. He was a serial killer, wasn't he? And actually, Zeus has just asked, "What do we think about the remake?" I think the remake was fucking crap.
It went too
What-
dark.
really? I thought like the people he was killing were like kids and like he was like a pervert and was kidnapping
Yeah, but
and killing them.
it was never actually hinted in the first movies that he was a pedophile. He was just a killer of children. I mean, obviously, there was a feeling that he probably was, but it was never actually stated, and it was only ever stated when they did the remake that he was a pedophile. Because that's how they got the because obviously from day one, if they'd have stated that he was a paedophile, everyone would have hated him. Yeah. But because he was that sounds awful. But he was kind of like a cool icon of the 80s, wasn't he? Freddy Krueger, with like people used to dress up in Halloween as him. So they wouldn't have done that if he was
As a pedophile.
yeah, they wouldn't have done that. So the film studio always kept that bit out. They just called him a child killer. But it was only the 2010 remake where they actually went back to the idea of him being a nonce. Yeah. So yeah, that I Freddy or Jason. Jason
Yeah,
for
Jason.
me. Jason definitely.
Jason before he gets resurrected.
Yeah. Because Freddy, but they both got similar, obviously opposite, but they both got similar kind of soft spots. Like Jason, for example, water, Freddy, fire. But Jason is more of he's a likable character. If
That
you
was-
can,
It's like, okay, he's a mommy's boy. That's all he is.
yeah, exactly. He's a mummy's boy, and obviously he had some issues when he was growing up, and that doesn't excuse his crimes, obviously, but. We're talking about like he's a real fucking person, but
Wait,
you know,
Jason?
yeah, Jason.
Wasn't he a kid who got drowned?
Yeah. There's a
Yeah,
huge
and there's-
continuity error, like in the second film where they made Jason the killer. But
Yeah.
here's my way of thinking it. Pamela Voorhees could have had two kids. Jason could have died, who was who was a favourite kid, but then obviously disowned the other kid, and then he became Jason because he
Because he
wanted
was
to make
nuts.
it. Because he was nuts and he wanted to make his man proud.
Yeah, possibly. And also, he might have watched his mother doing the killings of the first movie and then continued thinking that that's what she'd want.
Yeah.
But also, how long has she been in those woods? How long was Camp Crystal Lake actually shut down for? Because when they drive in, it's all smashed up and it looks like it's been done for ages. Jason or Michael Myers? I think I'm still sticking with Jason.
Mike Myers.
Yeah, Michael Myers is Halloween.
Yeah, I'll kill Mike Myers. I thought you meant like the actor Mike Myers.
Jason versus Mike Myers. That'd be an interesting fight. That's what they should put on the new Mortal Kombat. They should do that. Can you imagine Austin Powers versus Jason? I want to see that.
Groovy, baby.
I'm gonna spank your bottom. But yeah, how long was she in that wood for?
Must have
She
been
must have.
years.
Yeah. Ooh, only if it's clean. Hello, Ghost. How you doing, mate? Thank you for my bits, man. Thank you for the. Do you want my penis? It's always joy. Ghost
Yeah, I'll
has,
be right back. I need
has
a
lost
minute.
his spirit and gone into a doll. That is staring through my soul at the moment, and I'm feeling sickened by it. I hate fucking dolls. I hate dolls.
Dolls are creepy as fuck. They really are.
But so, Pamela Voorhees was living in those woods for years and years and years, so she could have easily had other children there, definitely. Now, she's obviously it can't be because at the end of the first one, the kid jumps out of the water and drags the girl under. Now, the next scene after that is the girl in the back of a ambulance. So the idea of the first one is that whole scene was actually a dream, and Jason never jumped out of the water at all. It was just a dream. And the only reason they got number 2 was because the first one did so bloody well.
Yeah, and they took some more money at it. They're like, "Hey, have some more money."
And and people were asking what was the little kid all about. So there's lots of different ways they could have looked into that. And to be honest, there being another child involved, excuse me,
Make
best
more
way
sense,
to
wouldn't it?
make a lot more sense, 100% more sense. Because it can't be Jason because he drowned years and years before because the park's screwed.
Yeah.
But then again, in later films, they give this idea that Jason is immortal. Now, whether you classify that as canon, I don't know. But like for example, Freddy brings him back from hell. So after even before that though, because they kill him and they tie him to a big rope or something, they put him at the bottom of the water again, which obviously suppresses his heart. But then he regenerates and comes back again. So could it be? The brother makes more sense, but could it be that Jason is actually immortal?
He could be immortal. Because I know they kill him in the third film, I think, or the fourth film.
They kill him in all of them, don't they? Which one?
They don't. They sort of kill him in the second one, but they don't really kill him.
Yeah.
In the third one, they really do kill him because obviously Tommy Jarvis is probably like, die, in he at the end.
Yeah.
So that he's actually dead. And then obviously in the fifth, I think it's the fifth film. In the fifth film, it's someone else. Which again, the continuity for why he started killing in the first place does not make sense.
Yeah.
And then in the sixth film, they bring him back to life.
Yeah. How do they bring him back to life again? I can't remember.
I think it's Tommy. I think Tommy Jarvis wants to make sure he's dead or something. I have no idea. I can't remember.
So they bring him back to life to kill him again.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. They were really struggling, weren't they? Eh? They were really struggling.
And then they send him to space. That was probably one of my favourite ones, the space one.
That's because it had more tits in it.
That and Uber Jason.
But the Mike Myers was obviously the brother, and he was the escaped mental patient. Which one's Jason? Which one's Jason X?
The one
Jason
in
X.
Space.
Yeah, it's the one in space. That I don't know why I always think of Jason X and Starship Troopers. I don't know why I always link those two together.
Starship Troopers versus Jason X. That'd be a great film.
That would be a good movie, wouldn't it? Maybe I kind of watched them at the same time or something, but I always think of those two like going together. Maybe they were released at the same time. I don't know. But they're on about doing a new Starship Troopers, aren't they?
They could do it, but I think it's too. They've done loads of Starship Troopers.
Yeah, they have done quite a few, haven't they? But I heard they were going to remake the first one. I'm sure I heard that somewhere.
Would they get the original actors? Because you've got
Oh, they.
Barney Stinson, you've got Krusty Krab.
I think Krusty Krab,
Yeah.
SpongeBob in it.
Not SpongeBob, the guy who owns the Mr. Krabs, Clancy Brown.
Okay.
He's the commander in it.
Oh yeah. Just seeing if I'm talking shit. I'm probably talking shit. Remake Starship Troopers. Will there ever be a 2011 has been Starship Troopers the idea is out there. It's actually been around to do a remake since 2011, when the rights were acquired by Neil H. Moroff, one of the producers. So the idea of making a remake of the original Starship Troopers is definitely something that they've been considering for quite some time. I don't know. I like the original Starship Troopers. It was cheesy, but it was kind of. It always reminded me also of like RoboCop, with the adverts in the background. That always was pretty cool.
RoboCop is a great film.
Yeah. What do you think of the remake of that?
Awful, because with the original, it's technically a Jesus sort of film.
Okay.
Because the guy dies and gets brought back to life. But obviously Jesus didn't kill people.
No. He just made fishes go everywhere.
He turned wine into blood, or whatever it was.
I think it's the other way around. You didn't go to Bible school, did you?
No.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it's the rebirth, isn't it? So, and he comes back as like a good guy, like a saint in a certain sense. The first film cost 105 million to make, and only made 56 million back. Wow, it was a huge flop. The first RoboCop. I know. I remember it going to video really quickly. Or was that always talking about Starship Troopers? Starship Troopers. Okay. Yeah, I also remember that going to video quite quickly as well. Starship Troopers. Because I remember it being in the cinemas. Then about a week later, it was in the video shop. It was kind of a bit of a turnaround. But I think it produced more of a cult following afterwards. Starship Troopers.
At the time, it wasn't very. Same with RoboCop. People didn't like it at the time, but nowadays, people will love it because of how with Starship Troopers, how funny and how cheesy it is. Like it is. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a word that goes with it. Piss take, but that's not the word I'm looking for. It's like a big piss take of army movies.
Parody.
Parody. It's a parody of.
Like troop movie, like grunt movies. You like the RoboCop reboot? I didn't particularly like it.
No,
I didn't like the reboot at all. I think it was an okay movie in its own. You know, a movie I did like, which always reminds me of not Starship Troopers, reminds me of RoboCop, is Chappie.
What a film!
I love Chappie.
Love that film.
My wife hates that movie because she's Afrikaans. So she just think, and also that Boos. I can't even say the name, but the band in it is like proper
Diane Wood.
Yeah, Diane Wood. Yeah, they're like I like that. I love Diane Wood. I think their music's pretty cool.
So do I.
But,
I am a butterfly. Need your protection, me my samurai.
But when she dresses up with those black eyes, that's pretty cool. What about Judge Dredd? Judge Dredd. I didn't like the first Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone in it. I didn't like it because obviously I grew up with those comic books, and they're like Judge Dredd was like a badass hero. It was like kind of comics books you're not supposed to read. So it's like Sin City as well. Well, it's the same comic book setup. They were kind of like badass comics, but the first Judge Dredd, I don't know, I just didn't like it. And the second with Carl Urban wasn't bad. That was the one that was not too long ago, like 2013 or 14 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I watched it. I don't know. See, Sin City was taken directly from the comic book and put onto film. and it was fantastic. I love Sin City. I also like the other one, the the Shadow. I quite like those two. I think it was the Shadow. I can't remember, but they were good movies because they basically just they jumped out the comic book. I think with Judge Dredd, Sin City 2 was crap. I never watched Sin City 2. I like the first one, but never watched the second one. But I don't think Sin City 2 was actually from the comic book. It was just a slap together story because the first one made so much money. But the first one was taken from a 1980s comic book, I believe. So that kind of had that nostalgia, that British old school comic books. But when they put that American slide on it and they tried to do it like an action hero kind of thing, which it was, but it was more of like an anti-hero from the comic book era, with this new kind of American swing to it. I just don't think it worked. I don't think it worked. It's the same as when they did 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later was a full-on British zombie movie. There's nothing more British in that. That bloke would have to be walking around with a cup of Yorkshire tea and a scone in his hand to make it any more British. But then they tried to put that American slang on it, like the idea that the Americans come in and save it all, but they don't in the end, if you know what I mean. It just didn't work for me. It wasn't good. I've gone
The second one was awful, but the first one was great.
First one was fantastic. I love that movie. I think I said last time I went all the way down to Leicester Square to buy it for that because I love that movie so much. What were we talking about originally?
No idea.
I had a train of thought. I was talking about something. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But you see, those comic books from that era were fantastic. I mean, like Black Horse, and they did obviously the spin-offs of the Batman, the dark side of it, which obviously then was brought back with the Dark Knight. That was the original Batman. That's the Batman that I grew up with. The whole 1960s camp Batman wasn't a thing for my generation. We want like Arkham Knights and we want Arkham Asylum, like the Dave McKean drawings and stuff. They were this dark, twisted society, and that's similar with Sin City, the 2000 AD comics. And I think if you try and take that away, the ruggedness, it just destroys it. And the movie Judge Dredd, I know it was kind of cool. It was a kind of cool action movie, but it didn't make me like it. Do you know what I mean? Would you like to see a live action movie of a live action version of it? I don't think so. See, I love the original. When they originally got released back in the day, I remember watching them. I haven't watched them for donkey's years, so don't ask me too many questions about it. But I remember watching them and thinking, wow, that works. I think some things work in animation. I think you can't really do the same. And also with all they're going to do is do loads of CGI. Now, whether that's a good thing or not, I don't think it'd be something I would be interested in. I think a lot of people would be interested in it. I mean, I'd like to see a live action version of like Devil Man. That'd be fucking amazing. Like if you're talking like proper manga or like Four Kings, but old school manga. Or like Fist of the North Star. They did do a live action version of the Fist of the North Star. I'd love to see that. I've never seen it.
It was all right.
Ghost in the Shell. I watched it.
They ruined
I wasn't.
They ruined that.
Because they try and make it too westernized. And it's the same as like when you got The Grudge and The Ring. Now, the American versions and the Western versions, they're all right. They're good movies. But then if you watch the American version of The Grudge and then you watch the Japanese version of The Grudge, it's just a fucking different world. It's just the Japanese version is just like it's scary as shit. I mean, the American version was scary, but it was like the original.
It was worse, way worse.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, like The Eye.
Have
you ever seen that one? Japanese version of The Eye?
No.
That's a great. Basically, it's like the girl, she's blind from birth, but then she gets fake eyes put in, and then she starts seeing ghosts and shit. It's really good.
Yeah, I've seen.
Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't seen the
Go on,
Japanese version, but I've seen the English version. It's like every time they try to attempt to do a anime, because I'm a big anime fan. I love my anime, and every time they try and make an anime like a real life anime version, no, just don't do it. Just leave the anime as it is.
Jessica Alba is in the English version. Jessica Alba. She's the girl that played the stripper in Sin City. Am I right? So she was in the Ghost of a Shell. I watched it, but I watched it years ago. It never really captured me. I remember playing the game, the Eye. Yeah. But there's also the original version, which is a Japanese version. I don't know what the actress is in that. But I found the original version much more scarier. She played the girl who had the eye transplant. Yeah. But that was the Western version, the British. They're not the British version, the American version. Or I don't know where it was filmed, whether it was English or not. I don't think it was. But there's also a Japanese there. The original Japanese version is really scary, and also Korean horror movies.
Oh,
I
some of
don't.
them are brilliant.
They're just amazing movies, and they're so the cinematics around it and the fear element. There's one I watched, and I can't remember the name of it, but basically it's. Have you ever seen It's a British movie, and it's called I think it's called Dead End. Did you watch The Forest? No, I've never watched that. But this Dead End, it's like a set of World War One soldiers, and they're running across the lines, and they all of a sudden find themselves in mist, and then they're stuck in this trench. But it's the Korean version of it. Was basically these soldiers that found this house, and this house was haunted by this woman. I think it's called White House or something like that. It's really good. I'll have to have a look at The Forest, mate. But there's a game called The Forest as well, isn't there? Is that linked to it or not? So I have to write it down because I'll forget fucking everything, me. Because I played the Forest game. It's like a survival kind of horror thing. The Forest is a great film. Girl goes looking for her sister on a Japanese mountain. Then, is that the one where she goes into the suicide woods in Japan? I don't know whether I've seen it, but I've definitely heard of something like that. And she goes searching for her sister because she thinks yeah. I've heard that's really good. But they also did like a Western version of that. And it was two backpackers that wanted to check out that forest, and they get haunted by the spirit. I'm not saying it's the same one, but I just remembered it. Could be that one actually. I'm not sure. Are you all right, zombie? He's all right, is he?
Zombie?
Because they're all sick and they've all got COVID.
Oh shit! Yeah, are you all right, zombie? Are you alive?
If he brings that doll up again and starts going, "Roar." What's he say?
No idea. What did you say there, zombie?
I was laying down over on the other side of the room.
Oh, we're just checking up on you, mate, see if you're okay, that's all. Seeing if you're happy.
I feel like shit.
Oh, dear me.
Miserably.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
dear.
laying down on the floor, just like trying not to throw up.
You look after yourself, mate. We'll look at the bathroom, it's fine. Just grunt at us every now and then, yeah? Just so we know you're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to find that movie where that kind of that White House or something like that. That was a fantastic movie. Jesus, what was that? Whoa! I'm watching horror already. What's all this about? So where were we? We were on about horror movies, weren't we? Okay, the scariest horror movie and why?
Oh,
Striptease.
White Noise. I've seen White Noise, yeah. That was
no
quite cool.
idea.
No idea.
I'm not really a big horror fan.
Okay.
The one that got me was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
That was pretty freaky though, that was. I watched that when I was little. My dad got me that. Michael Keegan's in it. Yeah, I remember because he uses the recording, doesn't he? And then he listens into the white noise, and he like hears different voices or something, if I remember correctly.
Here's this voice of his dad from the past.
Yeah. That was quite. I was interested. I watched it years and years ago, so I couldn't remember it all. But I remember that. Yeah, listens to his wife. Okay, doesn't he listens to multiple people? Doesn't he, like people from his past? I'm sure he does. I can't remember exactly. That's something I gotta watch again because I did like that. Another one that I watched recently, and I had to go back and watch the original three. We were talking about this actually, the Candyman, the 2021 Candyman. Um, it was fucking shit. It was an absolute embarrassment. But I went back and I watched the original three, and even they're just maybe it's a nostalgia thing, maybe it's like a scary thing. I just don't think they needed to take the 2021 to the level that they took it.
Me too.
I think seeing the originals are fantastic, mate. There's an element of like split. There's like there's there's all the things they wanted to say in the first one as they did in the 2021. I'm not going to say it exactly, but you understand what I'm saying. It's all the element is there in the first one. The racist, the segregation, it all was there. And it's a deeper story. And watching it back now, you kind of think, wow, this is actually quite a well written horror movie for like an 80s slasher, like a 90s slasher, sorry. But this one, it was really fucking offensive. I don't want to go, but it wasn't a very good movie. It wasn't very scary. It didn't bring out the Candyman as like a main figure. It made the people the main figure, which kind of took away from the original movies. And it just wasn't scary. It didn't do anything it said on the tin. It's supposed to be a scary movie. Now I went back and watched all three of them, and the third one is a proper B movie. Basically, they took the Candyman's name and they just wanted to make money out of it.
Yeah, that's all that one was.
Yeah, that's all it was. But I found that more interesting. But I just yeah, I think that's all I can really say about that. But definitely have a look at the original one. The first one is a really good movie. The lady that plays the main character when it turns crazy she's great. And the Candyman, he's a legend. That bloke who plays the first Candyman is just yeah, he's the dog's
Tony
bollocks.
Todd.
It's Tony Todd, is it? He's
Plays them all the way through.
is he? I
Yeah.
kind of skipped to the end of that one just to see what happened, and I was just thinking I watched it three-quarters of the way through, and by the end of it, I was thinking, "Geez, man, I feel bad for existing after this." So I just skipped to the end to see what happened. But yeah, it's just a different movie, and I think maybe it's a nostalgia thing. I don't know, but the original two, the first two, Farewell to the Flesh is amazing.
Is that the second one?
Yeah, but definitely worth a look. Because it has all the elements that they wanted to say. It's all there. It's just not as in your face as it is in the 2021 version. But obviously, that's a political thing. I don't want to get into that. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I've got to say about that, really.
The last horror film I went to watch, like in the cinemas, was A Quiet Place 2. I don't know if you've seen any of them films.
I haven't yet. It looks good though. The idea is
They're
they're
really
kind
good,
of
both of
okay.
them. When I went to the cinema though, I went with my mate, and you know though when you go in the cinema, you've got the moving chairs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
We went on one of them, so every time there was like a scary moment, the chairs shook you, so it made it even worse.
Is that the IMAX cinemas?
I think it was an IMAX cinema, yeah.
I haven't been to the cinema in donkey's years. Last movie I went to see, with my boy. It was a World of Warcraft movie. That was a long time ago now.
I haven't seen that. Is that any good?
As a World of Warcraft player, yeah, because it's kind of cool because you get a little bit of a backstory to it. And I've got to be honest, they've stuck to the story like fucking glue. Because if they hadn't have done, the whole fucking world would have been up in arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've stuck to the story really well. I think the characters are really good. The guy from Vikings, I can't remember his name, but he's fucking great. I think they just told him play the guy from Vikings in this movie, and that's all they told him. And it's exactly the same. I think it's a good movie. I think they should do more of it because I think there's so much story that they could go into about that and just develop it so much more. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think the last horror movie I went to see was probably Scream 3.
Oh wow, that was a while ago.
House of 1,000 Corpses.
House of 1,000 Corpses. That's a good movie. That was.
That was funny.
Or the what was the other one Rob Zombie did?
Which one? He did
Halloween.
Yeah, they did Halloween, but he also did one with like the Outcasts and it was the same guys from House of a Thousand
Hell's
Corpses.
Rejects
Oh
or
yeah,
something
yeah, yeah.
House
This-
Rejects, yeah, that was it. I like that movie as well. It was a cool movie.
with his wife in it.
Yeah,
Sherry Moon. She was in the other ones too.
Yeah.
and that's got the guy who's in Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, he's the one the one the guys in the blue suits. He's a big black dude in Dawn of the
Oh,
Dead.
he's a horror legend. I know who you're
Yeah,
talking about because he was also in the remake of like
Dawn of the
Rob
Dead.
Zombie's remake.
Yeah, yeah. But he's a cool actor. He was in House of a Thousand Corpses,
Yeah.
I think. Or no, Devil's Rejects. You might have been in House of a Thousand Corpses. I can't remember that one so much. But that's a great movie. That is. He's making isn't he sick though, Rob Zombie?
I
Didn't
think
he
so.
didn't he have HIV or something?
Ken Foray.
Ken Foray. He's got a mole on his face.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing it.
Black
The only
man.
reason I say that is because there's a documentary about Dawn of the Dead, and they have to cover it over for some reason. I don't know why they had to cover it over.
He's in all sorts. He was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
The original one.
1990 version.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
number
yeah,
3.
okay.
He was in
He's
The
been
Dentist.
in shitloads. Is he?
Yeah. Halloween, Night Riders, The Midnight Man.
Well, Night Riders was one of George A. Ramirez's movies, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
I think they're all friends, so they all kind of go together. Well, obviously not George A. Ramirez, because God rest his soul, he's dead now. But yeah, I think he's played in quite a few movies. He was cool. He's a cool guy. That classic scene from Dawn of the Dead when he says, it's in I think it's in a song as well, and he goes, it's there's no more room in hell, so the dead will walk.
Fun
That's
fact about Ken Foray, he was born on the 29th of February.
29th of February. Oh, so he's born on a leap year then.
Yeah.
Oh, so his birthday changes around.
It does, yeah. He
Very
says he's
cool guy.
73, but he's not really 73, is he?
Why?
Because his birthday's on the 29th, and that comes around, once?
So that means he's like once every 5 years.
Yeah.
So what does that make him? Let's see if we can do some quick mathematics.
What's every 4 years?
Every
Once
4
every
years.
Right,
Oh,
so
roughly.
if he's 73, I'm going to
It'd be
say 60-something, maybe?
73 divided by 4.
Yeah, 73 divided by 4.
He'd
Hold on.
be 30 something.
Yeah, he's in his 30s. Let's get an exact number.
33.2.
18.25. He's 18.
Nice.
Okay.
That's good, that isn't it?
Divided by
That's a
3.
handy thing to have, isn't it? Eh? Being 18 years old, that's a bonus at the age of 73, I reckon. Pretty damn good.
Stupid.
Right. How you feeling, Zombie? You all right, mate?
I'm gonna try to put some food in me.
I don't
See if
blame
that
you,
helps.
mate. Shall we be calling this an evening anyway?
Yeah.
Because we have definitely burnt the candles at both ends for the last 2 nights. We'll be signing off then. We've got a few people on, but I don't think we'll. We've got 6 on. I think we'll call it an evening. It's been a pleasure. If anyone's still listening, thank you very much for staying with us. I think we're doing this every Saturday from now on. We will come with
Every
some more
Saturday.
topics. But if
Next
you
Saturday's birthday stream. So
birthday stream, is it? If there's any topics you want us to kind of cover or talk over, just give us a shout and we'll talk it through. It's
Anything
just
but politics. No politics.
yeah, no politics, no bollocks like that. I don't want to talk about that crap because no one ever agrees and there's no point in talking about it. It causes too much hassle. But yeah, anything you want to chat about that doesn't cause us to get into a fight, that would be good. No hate. All the love and peace and harmony in the fucking world. Yay. But yeah, we'll be here the same next Saturday, and it's been a pleasure.
It has been a
Um,
pleasure.
but
I'll
I
stop
will.
my recording now.